them a world of good. Now, see here, you two. I know this is no doctor's office. You know what I think? I think you two are secretly married, and this is your love nest.
Love nest?
Love nest?
Love nest? Love nest?
Who are these? What?
Conklin, remember your blood pressure.
He turns an interesting color, doesn't he?
Now, see here, you little... I don't know what you are, or who you are, or...
Oh, please. You're like when I was silent pictures.
Get back in your room, you two. Sit down, Mr. Conklin, and take it easy.
But, Miss Brooks, you promised us another story.
Get back in your room, or I will kill you. Oh, now please let me explain, Mr. Conklin.
Very well, Miss Brooks.
Like an open mind. Now, you see, sir, Mr. Boynton and I were just taking care of these children until their mother comes back from the hospital.
Well, that's right, Mr. Conklin. It was an emergency.
Yes.
It's all well and good, but why did you lie to me?
Well, it would have been hard to explain on the phone, Mr. Conklin. And besides, I didn't want Eddie Garson to get in trouble. He's been absent all week taking care of his little brother.
A very touching story, Miss Brooks. I don't doubt that your motives were of the highest, but I can't run a school that way. Miss Brooks, unless you're in your classroom for the afternoon session, I'd better look elsewhere for employment.
Oh, that must be Eddie now. I'll get it. Eddie, I thought you'd never get... Where's your mother?
Well, she's paying the cab, Miss Brooks. She'll be right in. The doctor says she's fine.
Oh, good. Then she'll be able to take care of her family again, and I can get back to school.
No, you're gonna
Oh, no, you can't, Miss Brooks. We need you more than ever now. Look, in this blanket here, a brand new baby brother.
She never said why
Once
she
upon
was
a
in the
time, there
hospital.
was a governess named Connie Brooks.
Eve Arden as our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment. But first... Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. Tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Only Luster Cream brings you K-Dumit's magic formula blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Gives loveliness lather even in hardest water. Glamorizes your hair as you wash it. Luster Cream. Not a soap, not a liquid, but a dainty cream shampoo. Leaves hair fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen. Soft, manageable. Gives new beauty to all hairdos or permanents. 4-ounce jar, $1. Smaller sizes, either tubes or jars. Tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo and be a dream girl, beautiful Luster Cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a Luster Cream shampoo. And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, I couldn't afford to lose my job at school, and yet I hated to leave Mrs. Garson in the lurch. So I did the only thing possible under the circumstances. I got somebody to help out in my place. Before I left for the afternoon sessions, I gave a few last-minute instructions. Now, be sure the formula isn't too hot, and don't be stingy with the talcum powder. Any other questions?
What should I do with the safety pins when they're not in use?
Now, with a baby this age, you won't have that problem. Goodbye, Mr. Conklin.
Next week, tune into another Our Miss Brooks show, brought to you by Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written and directed by Al Lewis, with music by Wilbur Hatch. Mr. Boynton was played by Jeff Chandler, Mr. Conklin by Gail Gordon. Others in tonight's cast were Jane Morgan, Dick Crenna, Gloria McMillan, Tommy Cook, Sandra Gould, Bobby Ellis, and Jeff Silver.
Dentists know what cleans teeth best, and over 4,000 dentists say Colgate tooth powder with a 2-minute routine gets teeth sparkling and super clean.
So to remove dull film and get your teeth shining clean, just brush teeth 2 minutes morning and night with Colgate tooth powder. Brush inside, outside, and biting surfaces. Always brush away from the gums. See how quickly this gets teeth naturally bright. It removes dull film that improper brushing misses. And Colgate tooth powder also sweetens your breath. Try it. Buy Colgate tooth powder today.
For mystery liberally sprinkled with laughs, listen to Mr. and Mrs. North, the exciting, fun-packed adventures of an amateur Park Avenue detective and his beautiful wife. Tune in Tuesday evenings over most of these same stations. And be with us again next week at this same time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You're listening to Chin Radio AM 1540, the voice of multicultural Toronto, bringing you the latest updates on COVID-19. Stay informed, stay safe, and stay tuned to Chin Radio AM 1540.
Now, as gunshots echo across the wind-swept, snow-covered reaches of the wild Northwest, Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, the breakfast cereal shot from guns, present Sergeant Preston of the Yukon. It's Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog of the Northwest, blazing the trail for Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police in his relentless pursuit of lawbreakers. On King! On, you husky! Gold discovered in the Yukon. A stampede to the Klondike in the wild race for riches. Back to the days of the gold rush. With Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, bringing you the adventures of Sergeant Preston and his wonder dog, Yukon King, as they meet the challenge of the Yukon. There's no one that can make a better cereal than Quaker Puffed Wheat. It's neat. And when you hear that shooting, you're darn tootin'. The Quaker makes the ones shot from guns. And listen, fellas and girls, these winter mornings, if an alarm clock doesn't make you rise and shine, here's the breakfast treat that will. A heaping bowl of crisp, fresh Quaker Puffed Wheat or Quaker Puffed Rice, topped with lots of milk or thick yellow cream and sliced bananas. Yes, for a swell waker-upper, there's nothing like the delicious nut-like flavor and tender crispness of Quaker Puffed Rice and Quaker Puffed Wheat. Three men traveled the trail from Skagway to the town of Whitehorse in the Yukon Territory. It was fall in the Yukon, and the threat of snow was in the air. The youngest of the three travelers, Jerry Edmund, finally broke the silence that had prevailed for several miles.
I sure hope we reach Whitehorse before the snow flies, fellas.
We'll make it, Jerry. Don't worry. What I'm hoping is the old lady will put us up at your place and maybe tip us off on the way to get some cash.
Remember, I've never seen my mother, Sid. My old man raised me from the time I was 3 years old.
You said your mother wrote for you to come up here.
Yeah, she did, Butch.
How'd you find out where she is?
Well, it was this way. The old man took me into his gang down in Frisco a year ago. Shortly after, the gang was cornered. Paul was killed, and I got 6 months in jail.
Yeah, I remember when you came to the prison.
They gave me Paul's personal stuff. It was a letter postmarked Whitehorse, and it was from Mom. In it, she told me Pa she'd like to see her son, meaning me. I wrote to her and received an answer telling me to come up there when I could, and she'd see to it that I made a living.
She knows you were in prison then?
Yeah, but she said that didn't matter. That she'd married an outlaw, meaning Pa, and that she'd overlook it.
Well, that's the reason you think she's outside the law, too, huh?
Sure. I wrote her that I was bringing 2 friends with me and that we hoped to make some easy cash. She wrote back and said, come on. So here we are, heading for Whitehorse.
Yeah. Say, just how old are you, Jerry?
21.
You're getting started young.
Maybe you'll soon have a big gang of your own. I'm willing to go along with you a while, Buck. You've had more experience. Sure I have. Well, if we hurry, I figure we'll reach White Horse by supper time. Get up, get up, come on.
Get up there, boy.
Meanwhile, Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police stopped at Mrs. Edmonds' rooming house with some mail he'd brought from Dawson.
Oh, boy.
COVID-19 and its more infectious variants. These essential workers are more likely to be lower wage and immigrants to Canada. Manufacturing, food processing, and warehousing make up more than half of all workplace outbreaks in Peel and Toronto. Reporting live, Carl Heskey, 680 News.
680 News time 5:36. Despite promises from the province to expand asymptomatic COVID-19 testing in schools beyond the hotspots, public health units where schools are already open say that kind of testing is rarely happening. The Toronto Star contacted 18 public health units where schools have reopened to in-person learning, and of the 11 that responded, only one, Sudbury, confirmed asymptomatic testing has been done. Education Minister Stephen Lecce said yesterday access to asymptomatic testing has been offered to each public health unit that's welcoming students back to class. The province is expected to announce tomorrow when school boards still closed to in-person learning, including in Toronto, Peel, and York, will reopen.
680 News time 5:37. A new poll finds the vast majority of Canadians support the federal government's increased restrictions on international travel. 86% of respondents to the Leger poll say they agree with stricter measures that have suspended flights to most sunny destinations and require passengers to quarantine at a hotel at their own expense when they arrive in Canada. 87% of Canadians say they think the government should go further by banning international travel until there are several consecutive days of reduced COVID-19 infections. The push for tougher travel rules comes as Canadians find their mental health declining, with just 29% of respondents rating it as very good or excellent. That is the lowest since the pandemic began.
The province's top doctor and ministers of health and long-term care will appear before a commission examining how COVID-19 spread through long-term care homes. The offices for both Health Minister Christine Elliott and Long-Term Care Minister Marilee Fullerton say they'll be interviewed by the commission in the coming weeks. A spokesperson for the Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. David Williams, says he too will appear before the commission, but a date has not yet been set. The commission, which was announced by the province last summer, is expected to submit its final report on April 30th.
680 News time 5:38. Organizers for the upcoming Olympic Games in Tokyo insist the event will take place this summer despite rising COVID-19 case numbers. Our Simon Bennett has the latest.
Tokyo 2020 head Yoshiro Mori addressing the status of the upcoming Olympics this morning and continues to cast little doubt on their plans, at least publicly, reaffirming that the Games will take place however the coronavirus evolves, adding the discussion is no longer about the if, but how. CNN's Blake Essig.
Tomorrow they plan on releasing a series of playbooks which are going to outline some rules that athletes and other people involved in the Games are going to have to follow in order to deliver a safe and secure Summer Olympic Games.
That could include testing in your home country 72 hours before leaving for Tokyo, then testing every 4 days on site. The IOC has said there is no plan B in place outside of starting the Games on July 23rd as scheduled. I'm Simon Bennett.
It is Groundhog Day. All eyes are on Wyerton, waiting to see if Willie, the weather prognosticating rodent, will predict an early spring or 6 more weeks of winter. It's the 65th anniversary of the Wyerton Willie Festival, which will be held virtually this time around. If a groundhog sees its shadow on February 2nd, legend has it will retreat to its burrow, meaning 6 more weeks of winter. And if Willie's prediction isn't enough, up first will be Nova Scotia's Shubenacadie Sam. And there's also, of course, Punxsutawney Phil. The 680 News weather team also making their own predictions. Our weather specialists and meteorologists are split down the middle as to whether we'll see 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring.
680 News time 5:39.
Hi, Nancy Olgo here. We're making it easier to save you money and check everything off your shopping list with our new line of Longo's Essentials. Common household products that combine the quality Longo's is known for with prices that will save you the hassle of shopping around. Things like butter and spices, cases, garbage bags, and aluminum foil. You know, the everyday stuff. Just look for the packaging with the big check mark to check everything off your list. Checky, check, check, check. For quality that meets your family standards, trust ours, Longo's.
Do you have a security alarm system? Are you paying too much? I'll bet you are. Switch your current alarm system to the Monitoring Center and start saving today. With rates as low as only $9.99 per month and a 6-month free sign-up bonus. No long-term contract, and switching is easy.
1-866-24-7 or $9.99. 1-866-24-7 or $9.99.
Visit themonitoringcenter.com for details.
Tonight on CBC.
Ooh, something special?
The moment you've been waiting for.
Welcome back to Kids FM Radio. DJ Upper Kids.
The kids are back, and we got front row seats.
For real? Yes. Very good.
Perfect. And there's lots in store.
I got a lot to talk about. It's really good to talk about. What do you talk about?
Kids Convenience. New episode. Tonight at 8 on CBC and CBC Gem.
680 News Time 541.
Time for 680 News traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Helena Volka. Looking at the southbound 427 and seeing a delay. It's pretty jammed from Dundas in the express to the ramp that takes you to the Gardner. Now, we did have that ramp temporarily blocked, but now just the right lane is blocked. We've got emergency crews on the scene, so you can get by and use that ramp, but you do have to get into that left lane. That's southbound 427 jammed from Dundas in the express down to the ramp that takes you to the Gardner with that right lane block. Westbound QEW west to the 427, we had some construction going on there. First, it was in the right lane overnight, and they moved it to the left lane, but I saw them backing up and picking up the cone, so it looks like they've wrapped up that construction. For the night, it wasn't causing any delays, even when they were still working there. This report is brought to you by Canadian Blood Services, by the way. Taking a look at Islington, it is still closed both ways, Meadowvale Drive to Bloor. That is for an ongoing police investigation. A message from Canadian Blood Services. Join Canada's Lifeline by donating blood, plasma, or platelets, or registering as a stem cell or organ donor. Join today at blood.ca. Next traffic report at 5:51 with the forecast. Jill Taylor. Well, we've got a wind chill minus 11 to minus 17 right now, but mild air is on the way for tomorrow through to Friday morning. Guaranteed high minus 2. With increasing cloud for Groundhog Day today. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine and up to +1. Right now, partly cloudy, minus 9 degrees appears, and minus 6 and clear at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high, minus 2.
Minus 6 and minus 17.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to Mike Apple at the 680 Business Center. Morning, Mike.
Hey, morning, Paul. Good morning, Catherine. We're looking at a good start here on the morning trade. The Dow futures up 250 points. That appears to be building on yesterday's big rally. In fact, one of the best days of the year so far. On Bay and Wall Street, the TSX had its best day in 8 months, in fact, up 355 points. The NASDAQ was up 332 or 2.5%, and the Dow up 229. And again, the optimism is being fueled by, again, ongoing stimulus talk coming out of Washington. That's not to say there isn't a lot of volatility behind the scenes as we're watching GameStop continue its retreat down to $172 per share in pre-market this morning. That's down 23%. It was down 30% yesterday. Silver coming off a spike of 13%. It's reversed, down 6% this morning at $27.74. Gold is down $14 at $18.49. Oil higher by $1.20 at $54.75, and the Canadian dollar higher by a third of a cent, 78.09. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Upton.
Still to come on 680 News.
A global pandemic isn't going to stop the Raptors from making kids smile, going virtual for this year's visit to sick kids.
680 News Time 544.
You've been diagnosed with depression and can't work. Your insurance advises that your depression is not serious and denies your claim. What are you going to do? Who can you call? Call me, Aaron Waxman, at 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, my team of lawyers only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at pound LTD.
If there's one vehicle made for winter in Canada, it's a Subaru. Whether it's rain, sleet, or snow, symmetrical all-wheel drive works full-time to give you all the traction you need to be safe on the road. And if there's one dealership ready to help you through this winter, it's your local Subaru dealer. By ensuring all safety protocols are in place, we've made shopping for a Subaru as safe as driving one. Book your appointment and bring on winter safely at your nearest Subaru dealer. Toronto's news now. This is 680 News.
It's a clear sky, -6 in downtown Toronto, wind chill -11. Good morning. I'm Catherine Jeté.
I'm Paul Cook. Here are the top stories this Tuesday morning.
The Prime Minister is expected to make an announcement today on a plan to produce COVID-19 vaccines in this country instead of relying completely on foreign production. Toronto's COVID-19 bylaw is set to expire tomorrow, but an extension is up for discussion today in City Hall. The city's top doctor wants the rules extended until at least June. And it's Groundhog Day. Those eager for an early spring can keep an eye on some furry forecasters, including Wiarton Willie, the community of Georgian Bay, marking 65 years of the Wiarton Willie Festival, but the event is virtual this year.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Simon Bennett.
Hey, good morning, Catherine. Good morning, Paul. Get ready for an April 1st opening day in Major League Baseball, Jays fans. The Office of the Commissioner instructing teams to prepare to begin spring training on time after the players officially rejected a proposal that would have seen the season pushed back to April 28th with slightly fewer games. So that means pitchers and catchers are scheduled to report to spring training in just over 2 weeks from now. To the NHL, the Habs getting 2 goals for Jeff Petrie, 6-2 winners over the Canucks. Calgary grounded the Jets 4-3 in a shootout. The Leafs face the Canucks next on Thursday. Tony DeAngelo has cleared waivers, and the Rangers say he has played their last game for them. No official details as to the last straw, but multiple reports say it was a fight with a teammate in the tunnel after a loss to Pittsburgh over the weekend that did it. NBA and the Raptors with the second of the home with the Magic tonight, 7 o'clock on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Sportsnet Ontario, and Sportsnet 1. OG Anunoby already ruled out once again with a calf strain. Sports 50 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 5:47.
Your employment rights with Lior Samfiru from employmentlawyer.ca.
If you've lost your job during COVID-19, you may be entitled to significantly more compensation than you realize. Before the pandemic, 9 out of 10 employees were offered inadequate severance packages by their employer. Now, severance offers are more deficient than ever at a time when Canadians are in desperate need of support. Before you accept any severance offer, find out what you are truly owed. Otherwise, you could be leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table. Don't settle for what your employer wants to pay you. Get what the law says you should receive. Contact me at employmentlawyer.ca and discover why my employment law firm is the most positively reviewed firm in Canada.
Contact employment lawyer Lior Samfiru today. Get the advice you need and the compensation you deserve. Visit employmentlawyer.ca. That's employmentlawyer.ca.
680 News Time, 5:48.
A new study suggests people previously infected with COVID-19 may only need 1 vaccine dose. Researchers looked at more than 100 vaccine recipients, 41 of whom were previously infected with the virus. After just 1 shot, they found that COVID-19 survivors had antibody levels equal or above those who had gotten 2 doses of the vaccine but had never had the virus. Those with previous infections also appear to have more side effects after the first dose, such as fatigue, fever, and muscle pain, similar to what other participants might be expected to have after a second dose. The preprint study has yet to be peer-reviewed. Follow-up studies are underway. Trials for COVID-19 vaccines have come up against a major hurdle, the lack of participants over the age of 65. Recruiting older participants is necessary to see how well the shots work in seniors, but the Globe and Mail reports recruiting older people creates an ethical issue because half the participants in trials are typically given placebos, leaving them vulnerable to catching the disease. The rollout of mass inoculation programs around the world also means there are fewer unvaccinated seniors to take part in the trial, raising questions about whether enough data has been gathered to establish the vaccine's efficacy. Recently, up to 10% of volunteers in the trials of the Novavax shot dropped out after becoming eligible for vaccinations. As a result, the company says it will take a few more weeks to determine how effective the shot is in protecting people over the age of 65.
680 News Time, 5:50.
Humans are the most advanced species on Earth. We've conquered fire,
created powerful technologies, and yet we're still stuck paying for food delivery. Not anymore. With Good Food, you can get delicious ready-to-cook meals and grocery items like Good Food hummus, popcorn, and bacon delivered free right to your home. Good Food, eating evolved. Visit makegoodfood.ca. With minimum purchase. Details on makegoodfood.ca.
We're told to save for a rainy day, but why not save for a rainy decade? You worked hard for that money, and you're about to put it in there? At Tangerine, you can make that money make money with investments that tend to themselves. Our new mutual funds are called Global ETF Portfolios. And for as little as $25, you'll be investing before you can say what the ETFs. So start making moves with your money, because investing is in. Visit tangerine.ca and get started today.
680 News Time 5:51.
Time for 680 News. Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Helena Volka. Looking at the areas where we've had some problems, if you're southbound 427, that is slow from south of Dundas in the express down to the ramp that takes you to the Gardner. We had an accident on that ramp. They had to temporarily block the lanes, but everything's all gone now. The collision has cleared. No emergency crews there. Southbound 427 still slow from south of Dundas in the express to the ramp that takes you to the Gardner, but that backup is starting to improve. Westbound QEW west of the 427, the construction from overnight is gone. And also we had Islington closed both ways from Meadowvale Road to Bloor. That was for a police investigation, but they have just reopened Islington both ways through there. Next traffic report at 6:01 with Kyle Hawking. Now in the forecast, Jill Taylor. Cold temperatures and wind chill for us this morning, but milder air on the way Wednesday through to Friday morning. It's a clear, cool start to our day. We'll have some sunshine this morning, and then the clouds increase. A strong gusty north wind, our guaranteed high -2. It'll feel like -9. Clearing again tonight. Still a north wind though. -6 will feel like -14. And then tomorrow, lots of sunshine and up to +1. Thursday, we get into some snow, but late evening overnight. And then it switches over to some rain as we're staying quite mild. The morning high near 3 Friday, but then falling temperatures Friday, and it looks quite cold for the weekend. Right now, it feels like -17. It's -9 degrees, partly cloudy at Pearson, -6 and clear at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high, -2. Coming up at 6 o'clock, a shot in the arm for Canada's COVID-19 vaccine rollout. The Prime Minister is expected to announce a plan to produce the shots in this country.
680 News Time 5:53.
Your from the leak. Water came through, shorted out the furnace, the radiator too.
When you need money fast, Prudent Financial has been your best bank alternative since 1984.
If you need money in a hurry, PrudentFinancial.net. Get money quick, just one click. PrudentFinancial.net.
In a consumer proposal or in a bankruptcy and not discharged, we can still help car or homeowners get approved. Borrow up to $75,000 in less than an hour.
PrudentFinancial.net.
Sharon and Moe's Pay Your Bills contest
On 98.1 CHFI.
Stephanie Rutledge.
I've been off work since a car accident, and then my husband's barber shop has been shut down.
It never rains, but it pours.
Your Visa bill here? Hey.
I'm so surprised. Thank you.
3 daily chances to win. Enter your bill at chfi.com and get ready to mark it paid in full.
Darren and Moe's Pay Your Bills contest. Weekdays at 8, 1 and 4 on 98.1 CHFI. It's a tradition as old as the Raptors, and the COVID-19 pandemic wasn't going to prevent the team from visiting patients at Sick Kids Hospital. Our Jeff Verhoeven joins us with highlights from this year's virtual visit.
Yeah, for the last 25 years, the Raptors have gone to Sick Kids to cheer up the patients there. This year, for obvious reasons, they couldn't go in person, so instead, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, and the Raptor video called the kids and answered their questions.
Hi, my name is Rebecca. My question is, I noticed you wear a lot of different jerseys, so which one is your favorite?
I think for me, my favorite jersey so far probably did a black jersey, black and red.
Also asking Fred what he would be if he wasn't a basketball player.
I'll be a singer.
Okay, care to demonstrate?
Watch the highlights from the visit on the Raptors Twitter. I'm Jeff Verhoeven.
Still to come on 680 News, we'll have the business report.
680 News Time, 5:55.
Mask quality matters. It's a fact. Order your essential pandemic products from Circo.com and make the same choice doctors and hospitals have been making for over 60 years. We stock only premium medical grade products from trusted manufacturers. We have the medical N95 masks, nitrile gloves, and level 3 masks to protect your clinic, staff, and family. Free shipping on orders over $75 within Ontario. Visit Surgo.com today. That's SURGO.com.
If you have unfiled taxes, this message is for you. With the government running massive deficits, CRA is cracking down harder than ever before. It is only a matter of time until they find you. CRA can garnish your wages, empty your bank account, lien your house, or recommend criminal prosecution. If you made a mistake, it's not too late. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants now. Visit markfeldstein.ca. markfeldstein.ca.
680 News Time, 5:56.
Now the 680 News business reports, and here's Mike Epple.
Good morning, Catherine. We're watching markets extend Monday's rally, coming off the best day in 8 months for the TSX, which was led by a surge in silver prices and junior mining stocks, which benefited from precious metal going up 13%. The Reddit crowd says it wasn't them, but there was some huge money going to ETFs that track silver, and that price spiked to its highest level in 8 years. Now, this morning it's cooled off, down by 6%. So the volatility is certainly to the max here. The TSX Monday was up by 355 points, or 2%, in the junior venture market, which has a lot of metal and mining companies in it, up 4% on the day. Dow futures up by 250 points, and that is on the bet that the Biden administration will push ahead with a $1.9 trillion stimulus plan. The Republicans have come back with a counter-proposal much below that dollar figure, but as it turns out, the Democrats don't actually need Republican support to get much of the stimulus through Congress. The price for oil this morning is up $1.30 at $54.85, highest level we've seen oil at in a year's time. Crude getting a lift on improved demand metrics. Saudi Aramco, which is Saudi Arabia's state-owned oil company, seeing improved demand for its output. And as well, some of the volatility in the currency trade has spilled over into the commodities, and oil getting a little bit of a lift on that. Natural gas continues to run. It was up by better than 10% yesterday, up another 5% this morning, 13 cents at $2.98 per million BTU. The weather on the U.S. Eastern Seaboard, one of the contributing factors to natural gas and its near-term uptrend. We're tracking Air Canada today for spillover effects on word that Sunwing has tapped one of the large employer credit facilities offered up by the federal government to the tune of $375 million. And Sunwing, along with the other airlines, of course, not flying now to the Caribbean or Mexico, and needing some financial assistance in the near term. The Canadian dollar starts the day at 78.11. That is up by 1/3 cent. The exchange at $1.28. The Dow futures up 250. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Epple.
Out with the old and in with the new. It's something you hear a lot this time of year. Making space in your life is what a new year is for. Get a fresh start in your home and your life with Access Storage. With a safe place to store the belongings you love but don't have space for. Access Storage can be your resolution solution with flexible and affordable storage options and more than 100 convenient locations in Ontario. Get on with your new year. Access Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit accessstorage.ca.
First and fast. Breaking news when it happens on 680 News.
Virtuo by Nespresso. Redefining coffee. Savor a new morning ritual. Innovative technology means preparing your perfect cup of coffee has never been so simple. Allowing you to start your day in the most exceptional way. Virtuo, your morning coffee redefined. Nespresso, what else?
Checking some regional weather conditions. Right now in Hamilton, it's a mostly cloudy sky and -7. Towards Brampton, just a few clouds here and there. It's -12. In Barrie, it's a cold one this morning, mostly cloudy and -20. In Vaughan, a few clouds and -9. Right now in London, some cloud and -9. In downtown Toronto, we've got a clear sky right now, -6, wind chill -11. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 6 o'clock.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
It's Tuesday, February 2nd. Good morning. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jettay. Here's what's making news right now.
Imagine COVID vaccines made in Canada. It could soon be a reality. We're expecting to hear from the Prime Minister today, as a new poll finds most blame the feds for the vaccine shortfall.
Toronto City Council decides today whether to extend pandemic bylaws set to expire, including mandating mask use. The medical officer of health wants the bylaws in effect at least until early June.
It's a day where meteorology degrees don't matter, and we leave the weather prognosticating up to a rodent. It's Groundhog Day.
Major League Baseball instructing their teams to start on time after the players rejected a proposal to push the beginning of the season back to late April. Sports at 15.
Dow Jones stock futures up 250. GameStop reverses course, and Sunwing taps into a credit line from the federal government. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 6:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Kyle Hawkins at the 680 Traffic Center. Good morning, Kyle.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Catherine. We just had a bit of debris cleanup finish on the westbound 401 west of the 427 in the collector. So that was our one-lane restriction left over. No problems now on the highways. And everything is back up to speed again on the southbound 427 ramp to the Gardner, the express ramp to the Gardner. Earlier problems cleared, and now that issue is gone as well. Islington has reopened both ways south of Bloor. It does still look like police are blocking the right lane southbound Islington just south of Bloor as they continue a police investigation, but you now can get through in both directions. Next report at 6:11 and with the forecast. Good morning, Joel Taylor.
Hey, good morning, Kyle. Mainly clear and cold start to our day. The clouds increase as we work through the day. Right now, dress for a wind chill -11 to -17. It's partly cloudy, -9 degrees at Pearson. Clear, -6 at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high, -2. 680 News Time, 6:02.
It is the most sought-after product in the world right now, and at the moment we have woefully little of it in this country, the COVID-19 vaccine. And according to a new poll, most of us in this province blame Ottawa.
And perhaps a case of better late than never. Prime Minister Trudeau is set to make an announcement today about production of a shot to call our own. 680's Jamie Pulford joins us live with the latest. Jamie.
Yeah, that's right, Catherine. A made-in-Canada solution instead of being at the mercy of those foreign governments who could, without notice, stop vaccine exports until their own people are vaccinated. It's been a concern with the European Union, where the majority of the Canadian supply is coming from. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke about Canadian vaccine production when he also announced deals with Novavax and Johnson & Johnson back in August.
We're investing over $126 million to expand the biomanufacturing facility right here at the National Research Council, Royal Mount.
Now, that facility in Montreal is expected to be ready to go by the summer. Today, Trudeau expected to announce a deal is in the works to lure leading vaccine manufacturers to start production here. This, as a new campaign research poll finds that more than half of those in Ontario blame the feds for the vaccine shortfall. We're talking 52% of those people. Now, the good news is that for now, a new shipment from Pfizer is on the way to Canada, but only about a fifth of the doses expected. A new shipment from Moderna also short by about 50,000 doses. Reporting live, Jamie Pulford, 680 News.
680 News Time, 6:04. City Council meets today for the first time this year, and the pandemic will be front and center. 680's Kevin Meisner joins us live from City Hall, where local politicians will be discussing extended COVID-19 bylaws. Kevin.
Yeah, Paul, Toronto's pandemic bylaws enforcing the use of masks and mandating physical distancing, among other items, set to expire as of tomorrow. Medical Officer of Health Dr. Eileen Davila is calling on City Council to extend those bylaws at least until the June 8th meeting of Council. Davila says that the new variants of the virus are now circulating in the city and Ontario, and keeping our distance is still the best protection.
Modeling and declining case rates in other parts of the world suggest strategies that create distance and limit interaction are still successful. even where the variants are present.
If approved by council, this extension would also allow the medical officer of health to review each bylaw on a monthly basis to determine if it's still necessary. Today's virtual meeting of council gets underway at 9:30 this morning. At Toronto City Hall, Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News time 6:05. This news segment brought to you by Search Kings. With the new COVID-19 variants in play, some health experts argue the current lockdown may not be enough. They point to essential workers as being one of the main contributors to the spread and question what is deemed essential work. 680's Carl Hansky joins us live from a meat processing plant in the city's northwest that has cases of one of the new variants. Carl.
Catherine, despite lockdown measures, a data analysis by the Toronto Star finds 65% of workers in the GTA are considered essential and still working outside of the home, most of them in production plants or factories where they must work in close quarters and with little or no paid sick leave. This includes this meatpacking plant here in North York, where COVID-19 outbreak has so far seen 78 workers test positive, including 2 confirmed to have the more infectious UK variant. Now, manufacturing, food processing, and warehousing make up more than half of all workplace outbreaks in Peel and Toronto. So the argument is, if you want to reduce the spread, maybe reduce the number of essential workers. Reporting live in North York, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News time, 6:06. Prime Minister Trudeau has spoken with U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris discussing several topics, including fighting the pandemic. Trudeau's office released a statement about the call, saying Trudeau looked forward to working with the U.S. administration to combat COVID-19 through close collaboration on borders and access to vaccines, as well as building back together. Harris tweeting last night that they also spoke about addressing climate change and expanding their economic partnership in ways that advance recovery and create jobs in both countries. Trudeau also congratulating Harris on her historic election. Both the PM and the VP say they are looking forward to the upcoming bilateral meeting between Trudeau and U.S. President Joe Biden.
This is 680 News. A new poll suggests most Canadians support tighter restrictions on international travel imposed by the federal government.
An online survey by Leger, the Association for Canadian Studies, says 86% of respondents agree with stricter new measures that suspend flights to most sun destinations and require passengers to quarantine at a hotel at their own expense upon arrival back in Canada. The poll also found 87% of respondents think the government should go further by banning international travel until there are several consecutive days of reduced COVID-19 numbers. Leger Executive Vice President Christian Bourque says the wariness of foreign trips stems in part from variants of the virus emerging abroad, as well as homegrown politicians jetting off to far-flung beaches during the holidays. Terry Pedro, the Canadian Press, Ottawa.
680 News time, 6:08. It is February 2nd, Groundhog Day. A day many of us view as winter's halfway point. It's also the day when our Laura Carney pokes her head up from her desk to update us on what the biggest names in the rodent prognosticator business have to say. Good morning, Laura.
And good morning, Paul. Well, they're all still sleeping right now, but for 65 years, Wyerton Willie, the albino groundhog, has been called on to give us his prediction. If he sees his shadow, we are in for 6 more weeks of winter. If he doesn't, it'll be an early spring. Of course, because of the pandemic, this year's event will all be online. Coverage set to begin around 8 a.m. Up first with his prediction, that will be Shubenacadie Sam in Nova Scotia. That expected around 7. In the U.S., the prognosticator of prognosticators, Punxsutawney Phil.
Excuse me, where's everybody going?
To Gobbler's Knob. It's Groundhog Day.
It's still just once a year, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is. Now, our meteorologist Jill Taylor is team early spring, but unfortunately, she says we can't get used to the mild temperatures in the short-range forecast.
Because most of February is looking very cold, below average temperatures at this point for most of February after we get through this little mild spell Wednesday through to Friday morning.
And the 680 weather specialists and meteorologists are split right down the middle as to whether we will see 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring. Reporting live, Laura Carney, 680 News.
Organizers for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics say it's no longer if, but how the games will take place. As we hear from our Simon Bennett, they reaffirmed their intention to hold the games despite rising COVID numbers.
Tokyo 2020 boss Yoshiro Mori says the games are still happening. However, the coronavirus evolves. Expect another announcement tomorrow, namely the measures that will be in place during the games to prevent global spread. CNN's Blake Essig says athletes can expect restrictions.
They're going to be allowed at the Athletes Village, transported to and from their venue for training and competition.
but that's it.
They also will have to leave the athletes' village within 2 days of their event ending and will be tested on site regularly. The reaffirmation from Mori coming as Japan prepares to extend their state of emergency for a number of areas, including Tokyo, which accounted for about a third of the 1,700 plus new cases announced yesterday nationwide. But for now, the opening ceremonies are still a go, the July 23rd. I'm Simon Bennett.
680 News Time, 610.
If you're in plumbing, HVAC, electrical, any home services business, don't miss out. Local Services Ads by Google is here. Don't let woulda, coulda, shoulda make you cry. Instead, let Search Kings get you Google guaranteed as a local services provider. Attract customers because you're prioritized on Google, and Google guarantees your work. Contact Search Kings to set up and manage your local services ads account today. You want to stand out where your customers are online? Switch to Search Kings.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones, including a collision on Bathurst north of Davis Drive in Newmarket.
6:30 News Time, 6:10.
East Coast Ford, the #1 retailer of Ford Canada for 2020, is your #1 destination for the toughest, smartest F-150. Check out the completely redesigned 2021 F-150 Super Crew 4-wheel drive, loaded with heated leather seats, navigation, and so much more. Get it at East Court Ford for only $95 plus HST weekly on a 24-month lease with just $2,000 free down. Get the most for the least at East Court Ford at Shepherd and McCowan in Scarborough, or go to eastcourtfordlincoln.com. See dealer for details.
Toronto fans are fired up. The Leafs are back on Sportsnet. This season is on. What do the fans say?
Brody, Bogosian, Simmons. We just got tough.
Might even say truculent.
We got Jumbo Joe.
When you hear what they think about their rivals,
The price is wrong.
there's no love lost between some rivals.
Battle of Ontario, it's on.
It's on Sportsnet all season long. Sportsnet.
6:30 News Time, 6:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones, brought to you by 407 ETR. Here's Kyle Hogging.
Well, the highway drive in good shape right now. If you're traveling the major routes, no problems for you. It looks like you're in pretty good shape. We did have a couple of issues on city streets. Southbound Islington, south of Bloor, police have now cleared that area completely following a police investigation, so all lanes are open here. Up in Newmarket, we have a collision on Bathurst north of Davis Drive and Miller's Side Road. That's one major street north of Davis Drive. So expect lane restrictions, perhaps delays at the intersection, but it doesn't look too bad. And we are just getting word, if I can return to the highways, of a collision eastbound on the Gardner at Jarvis. Traffic spotters telling us the center lane is blocked with a crash here. So starting to see a bit of volume build in this area. Don't have a view of the crash just yet, but keep that in mind. It's starting to slow. Download the 407 ETR app today and get personalized updates on your regular routes, instant trip summaries, and more. Available on the App Store and Google Play. Next report at 6:21, and with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
No major weather concerns for us right now. It's just cold, especially with that gusty north wind. Dress for a wind chill if you have to head out early this morning, -13 to about -18. We'll have sunshine to start, then clouds increase. Our guaranteed high -2. Clear again tonight, -6 for the low, feeling like -14 for early Wednesday, but lots of sunshine tomorrow and the high +1. Right now, it's partly cloudy, -10 degrees up here, so -7 and clear at 680 News. Guaranteed high today, -2.
6:30 News Time, 6:13.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to Mike Apple at the 680 News Business Center.
Good morning. It appears that the markets are ready to build on Monday's big rally. The TSX coming off its best day in 8 months. The composite up 355. The Dow is up 229. NASDAQ up 2.5%. We've got Dow futures up 240 points this morning, with ongoing bets about stimulus efforts by the Biden administration for the U.S. economy. The silver market is in the spotlight after a 13% spike on Monday's trade. Silver reversing. It's down 5.5%. GameStop is down 23% pre-market. Dropped 30% in Monday's trade. Gold is down $13 at $18.50. Price for oil, 1-year high, up $1.27, 54.82. Canadian dollar up 1/3 of a cent, 78.08. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
We're all rethinking risk these days. Your investments should be no exception. A financial advisor can help you build a resilient portfolio. Learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
Still ahead on 680 News, latest morning headlines, and
You know it's a big deal when Patrick Stewart calls himself a superfan. Captain Picard geeks out over Schitt's Creek.
6 City News Time, 6:14.
At Shell, we're taking care. Because taking care of you means taking care of the one thing we all share, the journeys that we take. So we've made a commitment to do things the right way and give you our very best. Our best fuel, our best snacks, our best services, our best rewards. And by taking care of what fuels you, you can be your best. Because better drivers make better journeys, and better journeys make a better world. Learn more at shell.ca/takingcare.
There's still a lot of winter left. Is your furnace up to it? Call Reliance Home Comfort for a repair or replacement. We're here 24/7, and we'll get there fast. Reliance has over 50,000 five-star reviews, and you can count on our commitment to safety precautions. And remember to ask about our next day or we pay installation guarantee. Call today and save 30% off our featured furnace. Get a great furnace deal now.
Call Reliance.
Conditions apply. Savings off our regular price. See website for details.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
Morning sunshine, then increasing cloud with a gusty north wind for the GTA today with a 680 News guaranteed high of -2. Good morning, I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jette. Here are the top stories right now.
Under fire for a shortage of COVID-19 vaccine, Prime Minister Trudeau expected to announce today the framework for an agreement to produce the shot within Canada. Essential work strongly associated with the risk of COVID infection, yet according to data analysis from the Toronto Star, 65% of GTA workers are deemed essential. First council meeting of the year today, where Toronto politicians will be asked to extend the COVID-19 bylaws set to expire tomorrow.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590, the fan, Simon Bennett.
Hey, good morning. No real surprise here, but the baseball season will start on time. Any doubt on that? A race from the Players Association officially rejected a proposal to push opening day back to April 28th with slightly fewer games. MLB is instructing teams to go with the existing schedule, so pitchers and catchers expected at spring training in just over 2 weeks from now, opening day April 1st. In the NHL, another win for the Canadians. 6 wins in their opening 9 games. 6-2 over the Canucks last night. Calgary beat the Jets 4-3 in a shootout after a frantic start. There's a few days of practice for the Leafs who host Vancouver on Thursday. The Raptors looking to sweep the home and home with the Magic tonight. Game time from Orlando, 7 o'clock on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Sportsnet Ontario, and Sportsnet 1. Bianca Andreescu's high-enders will go another few days, pulling out of the Grampians Trophy. She wants to be the top seed in this tournament, playing specifically for players who weren't able to leave quarantine to practice in Australia. The Aussie Open starts next week. Sports 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 6:17.
Tonight on CBC.
Ooh, something special?
The moment you've been waiting for. Welcome back to Kids and Radio. TJ Upper Kids. The kids are back, and we got front row seats. For real? Yes. Very good. Perfect. And there's lots in store.
I don't want to talk about it, but it's only good to talk about.
Kim's Convenience. New episode. Tonight at 8 on CBC and CBC Gem.
Everybody's looking for a change right now, dreaming of being able to pay for upgrades or renovations without taking on that financial burden. Just think about it. We renovated 3 years ago, but it still feels like there's a million things I'd like to do today. A Flexi Line by Capital Direct allows you to manage your resources more effectively. Whether you could use $50,000 or $1.5 million, that cash is available to you. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL.
CapitalDirect.ca. 6 City News Time, 6:18.
The expansion of asymptomatic COVID-19 testing in schools announced by the province still not enough for the president of the Elementary Teachers Federation. Shauna Hunt of City News speaking with Sam Hammond, who says widespread testing should have been happening long ago, and how it will work remains unclear.
Where are the 625, 650 nurses that were hired into the system? Why can't they be administering these rapid tests in schools? When will they have access to that, and how are you going to implement it?
And Hammond says most of the safety measures talked about by the Minister of Education are nothing new. For example, many school boards across the province before the Christmas break already implemented the masking of children as young as in grade 1. And as for the possibility of March break being canceled so learning can continue, Hammond is hoping that the government will consider the burnout among teachers, students, and parents and decide that that break is desperately needed for everyone to recharge. Shauna Hunt, City News.
680 News Time, 6:19. Donald Trump's impeachment trial response is due today after the former U.S. president's new legal team had less than 48 hours to prepare it. ABC's Andy Fields in Washington.
After his lawyers quit the case last weekend, former President Trump's new legal advisors had less than 2 days to answer charges against him for next week's second impeachment trial. Both sides required to file their statements today. The president's new lawyers' arguments may not matter, as most Republican senators already indicate they think impeaching an out-of-office president is unconstitutional. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
680 News Time, 6:20.
Your life has taken a bit of a break, but your dental health shouldn't. At Ultima Dental, our enhanced cleaning and sterilization protocols will help keep you safe at your appointment, while our team of professionals keep your oral and overall health in check. We also offer our patients a 0% interest payment plan, so you can get the treatment you need when you need it. Located across Ontario and the GTA, contact your local Ultima clinic or visit ultimadental.com to find a dental professional near you. Ultima Dental. Care beyond your smile.
Babe was always home for dinner by 5.
Where's Daddy? It's almost 7.
The accident changed our lives.
I couldn't work. Would my family's future be secure?
Oh, we were scared about our future. Then we got in touch with Michael Lamont.
He helped us find our way to a new life.
Hey, Dad, let's play ball.
I'm Michael Lamont. Personal injury is all we do. Your recovery starts at lamontlaw.ca, resolving personal injury cases for over 40 years. Lamont Law. Experience, trust, compassion.
680 News Time, 6:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by City TV. Here's Kyle Hocking.
Well, we have an issue on the eastbound Gardner. It's gotten quite a bit worse in the last 10 minutes. We had a collision happen in the center lane. One of the vehicles involved then pulled over to the right lane and into the ramp lane as well. So we've got now 2 right lanes plus the ramp lane blocked with this collision. Emergency crews have just arrived on scene alongside tow trucks. Only the left lane is squeezing by, and we've got debris, it looks like, scattered across all lanes here as well. It's getting very heavy quickly from approaching Spadina to east of York now, as only the left lane is open, and in fact it's backing up even beyond that. I'm switching back on the cameras here, and it's almost backed up to the exhibition grounds. You will certainly want to take the lakeshore here. At the very latest, get off at Jameson and use the lakeshore from that point, but it will not be long before things are backed up to Jameson, and probably before that in the next short while. So plan your alternates. Now, we have no other problems on the highways. A pretty smooth drive outside of that one spot on the eastbound Gardner. We did have a collision in Newmarket on Bathurst north of Davis Drive. Looks like they've already cleared that scene. Get the latest breaking news and important updates affecting your communities and our country every night with City News at 6 and 11, only on City TV. Next report at 6:31, and with the extended forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
And we are going to get a bit of a break from the cold beginning tomorrow through to Friday morning. Until then, we'll have rather cold wind chill to deal with. The wind chill right now, -13 to about -18. It's clear in many areas this morning, but the clouds will increase for Groundhog Day. -2, the guaranteed high. It'll feel like -9 this afternoon. Tonight, we'll clear out again. That north wind will stay with us. -6 for the low, will feel like -14 early tomorrow. And then sunshine and milder up to +1 for the high on Wednesday. Thursday, we've got some snow moving in, but not until late evening overnight. And then rain and snow for Friday, falling temperatures on colder for the weekend. Right now, partly cloudy, -10 degrees at Pearson, -7 and clear at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high, -2.
And because Jill made the 680 News weather guarantee yesterday, our jackpot increases to $1,200. This, of course, after yesterday's giveaway of $26,000 to a lucky 680 News insider.
Coming up at 6:30, in a case of what appears to be better late than never, Prime Minister Trudeau set to announce plans to produce a COVID-19 vaccine at home. What will be discussed at City Council's first meeting of 2021. And the debate over what work should be deemed as essential now that the more contagious COVID variants are in our midst.
680 News Time, 6:23.
If your head wants to plan for retirement, but your heart wants to enjoy life now, the Scotia Aria Retirement Program can help. No matter where you're starting from, we can create a unique path to help reach your vision of retirement. And as you grow, this flexible plan can grow with you, so you can enjoy what's important to you today as you get closer to your retirement goals tomorrow. Get started at scotiabank.com/aria and learn more about the Scotia Aria Retirement Program.
This is 680 News. An iconic TV actor proclaiming his love of Schitt's Creek. Our Jeff Verhoeven has highlights from a Q&A between the stars of the show and Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, when Sir Patrick Stewart calls himself a superfan and wants to host a virtual Q&A with Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Dan Levy, and Annie Murphy, you know it's a big deal.
What memory of those 6 years and 6 seasons will stay with you the longest?
Yeah, this clip posted is 6 minutes from a much longer virtual interview hosted by the Star Trek actor.
Oh, Catherine's having a cry. Okay, good.
Coolest part, when Patrick Stewart is blown away by Dan Levy.
I'm sorry, did you say that this was the first television script that you had written?
Yes. Watch it on the Schitt's Creek YouTube. I'm Jeff Verhoeven.
Canadian regulators look at some of the Reddit trades. Business in 60 seconds.
680 News Time, 6:25.
In times like these, shouldn't your money work even harder for you? We think so. That's why at Duca Credit Union, you get no-fee checking accounts. You also get high interest on deposits and investments, and low mortgage rates. Plus, you get to share in the profits. That's the Duca difference. And now, get rates as low as 1.79% on a 5-year fixed mortgage when you switch to Duca. Find out how at mortgage.duca.com. Do more, be more, achieve more with Duca Credit Union. Conditions apply.
Since the dawn of time, humans have been pursuing food. First in open plains and lush forests, and later in the crowded aisles of grocery stores. Today, that pursuit is over. With good food, you can get delicious, ready-to-cook meals like caramelized onion baked cheese tortellini delivered right to your home. Because some things are better left in the past. Good food, eating evolved. Visit makegoodfood.ca.
680 News Time, 6:26.
Now the business report with Mike Apple. What's going on, Mike?
Good morning, Paul. We're looking at the shares of GameStop and other recent high flyers drop in early trade this morning. GameStop down 23% after a 30% tumble Monday. AMC is down like 24%. BlackBerry's down as well. And some of these high flyers that have been bid up on Reddit chat boards, seeing a big retreat from their, most recent record highs. GameStop, for example, this morning at $172. The indicated start price, U.S., its peak was $483 per share just last week. And Canadian regulators are now looking into whether or not they see, quote, abusive or manipulative trading activity on Reddit and other social media platforms. Experts, though, saying it's going to be very tough for them to prove there was any so-called malfeasance going on here for the Canadian Securities Administration or investment industry oversight. The markets Monday were in a pretty good state with the TSX up 355 points. Best day in 8 months for Bay Street, helped out by a rally for silver prices. And mining stocks, which caught favor on some of the exchange-traded funds and huge inflows going into the metals market. The venture market, we don't talk too much about the junior market so much, but it was up 4.2% yesterday, an outsized move as some of these mining stocks, many of them based in Vancouver, jumped by anywhere from 10 all the way up to, in some points yesterday, more than 70%. Now, this morning, the price for silver after a 13% rally Monday is down 5.25% in early trade. Price for oil bidding up this morning to an almost 1-year high with the discussions out of Saudi Arabia that demand for oil globally is starting to improve. And OPEC, just yesterday, put a production rollback of 1 million barrels per day into effect. Crude futures up $1.20 this morning at $54.75. Dow futures up $2.50 after a gain of $2.29 for the Dow Monday. And the Canadian dollar catching a bid of 1/3 of a cent at 78.08 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
When Mark Mendelson and Dave Blow Radio joined forces with 680 News over 25 years ago, it was the start of a beautiful relationship.
We've been advertising on 680 News since the very beginning. Radio is the best vehicle for advertising long-term to a client base who will buy when they're ready to buy. And we're a long-term business, so we love long-term results.
Vendors love those results too.
Whenever we talk to a vendor about co-op advertising, they say, oh, please advertise on 680 News. And that's because the CEOs of these companies I'm dealing with are listening to this radio station all the time, and all their friends are. And the reason 680 works is because it's foreground radio. When people are actually listening to 680 News, they're actually listening.
And what you say to those listeners has shaped how they see the Bay Blue Radio brand.
Radio gives you your personality. You can personalize your company, which we've managed to do over a long period of time with 680 News.
It sounds like it's working.
Well, we're still here after 73 years.
Get 680 News working for you. Visit 680ads.com.
Our meteorologist Jill Taylor's latest forecast on this Groundhog Day: some morning sun and increasing cloud, a strong gusty wind from the north, and a 680 News guaranteed high of -2 with wind chills around -9. For tomorrow, mainly sunny, milder, gusty wind, high near +1. Right now, -8, mainly clear in downtown Toronto. 680 News time, 6:30.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
It's Tuesday, February 2nd. Good morning. I'm Catherine Jeté.
I'm Paul Cook. Here's what's making news right now.
Canada taking COVID vaccine production into its own hands. We're expecting to hear from Prime Minister Trudeau today as a new poll finds most blame Ottawa for the vaccine rollout letdown.
The Toronto bylaws covering physical distancing and masks are set to expire tomorrow. The council meets today and will likely extend those bylaws right into June.
A data analysis by the Toronto Star finds 65% of workers in the GTA are deemed essential, yet workplace contact is considered a major source of COVID-19 spread.
Will he see his shadow or won't he? It's Groundhog Day, and for the 65th time, all eyes will be on Wyerton, where Willie, the weather prognosticating rodent, will make his prediction.
With Baseball's Players Association rejecting the latest proposal from the owners, the season will start on time. That means spring training starts in just over 2 weeks. Sports at 45.
Dow Jones stock futures up 255 points. The silver surge reverses course. GameStop's down more than 20% pre-market. Business at 56.
680 News time, 6:31.
Time for 680 News, traffic and weather together on the ones. Up we go to Chopper 680 and Jordan Kerr. Good morning, Jordan.
Morning, Catherine. Morning, Paul. Bad drive trying to get downtown. 2 crashes on the eastbound Gardner now. Approaching Jameson, part of the left lane is blocked off, and east of York, 2 right lanes and the ramp lane blocked off with a crash. The ramp to Jarvis also partially blocked because of that crash. So eastbound Gardner's Jane Parklawn to approaching Jameson, and from the X grounds to east of York. From the 680 Traffic Center, here's Kyle Hawking.
Not good on the southbound EVP either. Delays building 401 down to about Lawrence, and now approaching Bayview Bloor. 2 right lanes are blocked with a collision, so it's heavy again approaching Don Mills to approaching Bayview Bloor. Next reported 641, and with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
It's a clear, cold start. We'll have sunshine this morning, and then the clouds increase again. Right now, dress for a wind chill -18 at Pearson. It's -10 degrees there, partly cloudy. Wind chill downtown -13. It's clear -7 at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high -2.
680 News time, 6:32.
Canada could soon be relying less on other countries to produce and ship COVID-19 vaccines. The Prime Minister is expected to announce today his government has a plan to make shots in this country.
And Ottawa not getting a pass from voters in this province when it comes to the stalled vaccination effort. Our Jamie Pulper joins us live with the latest. Jamie.
Yeah, Paul, Canada taking COVID vaccine production into its own hands instead of totally relying on foreign governments for one of the most valuable commodities in the world. Right now, most of the supply is coming from the European Union, and there's been some tension. We're expecting to hear from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau today about making vaccines here. He spoke about it back in August, $126 million to expand the biomanufacturing facility at the National Research Council in Montreal.
This funding will increase this facility's ability to manufacture vaccines and will strengthen the NRC's partnerships with vaccine developers. We expect the facility to be up and running by mid-2021.
Now, the latest is that it should be ready by the summer. Trudeau speaking about that while also announcing the deals with Novavax and Johnson & Johnson. This as a new campaign research poll
finds that more than half of people in Ontario blame Ottawa for the current vaccine shortage. Canada is expecting new shipments from both Pfizer and Moderna this week, but only a fraction of the doses expected. And new cases of COVID in the country are actually at the lowest since November, but variants from the UK and South Africa are on the rise. Reporting live, Jamie Palfer, 680 News.
680 News Time, 6:34. Toronto's top doctor has her way. Physical distancing and mask wearing in public will stay mandatory well into the spring. 680's Kevin Meisner is at City Hall, where an extension of COVID-19 bylaws is up for discussion. He joins us live. Kevin.
That's right, Catherine. Toronto City Council is expected to approve the Medical Officer of Health's request to keep those pandemic bylaws mandating masks and physical distancing in place at least until the June meeting of City Council. That's the second week of June. Dr. Eileen Davila says keeping our distance is still the best defense against COVID-19, and it's even more important now with the concerning variants of the virus circulating.
To mutate, viruses have to replicate. To replicate, viruses need human cells. So our job is not to give it to them.
Also on the agenda for Toronto City Council, asking for a report on expanding the city's cycling network for another season of active TO. The now paused demolition of the Dominion Foundry buildings will also be discussed by councillors, along with questions about how Toronto municipal licensing and standards plans to crack down on Airbnb and other short-term rentals who may be operating outside of the rules in the middle of a pandemic, including hosting parties in violation of those gathering limits. At Toronto City Hall, Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News Time, 6:35. Well, the advice to stay home amid the pandemic is all well and good for those of us with office jobs. But with so many of the GTA considered essential workers, workplace spread continues to contribute to the second wave of COVID-19 infections. And it's prompting concerns current lockdown measures might not be enough. Our Carl Hansky's outside a meatpacking plant in the city's northwest, where dozens of workers have fallen ill, and he joins us live. Carl.
Yeah, well, even though essential work is considered a major spreader of COVID-19, a data analysis by the Toronto Star finds 65% of workers in the GTA, over 2 million people, are considered essential and working outside of the home. Most of them in factories or production plants, like this meat processing plant on Signet Drive here in North York, where an outbreak has so far seen 78 workers test positive, including 2 with the more infectious UK variant. The study finds manufacturing, food processing, and warehousing make up more than 50% of all workplace outbreaks in Peel and Toronto, jobs where workers work close together and have little or no paid sick leave, so they come to work regardless. Reporting live in North York, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News Time, 6:36. The federal government is extending some financial support to one of the country's airlines. Mike Eppel reports from the 680 Business Center.
Sunwing is tapping into a $375 million credit line days after agreeing to suspend flights to Mexico and the Caribbean, along with all the other major Canadian carriers. The loan is being granted through the federal government's large employer emergency financing facility, which was put together last May to help big companies weather the pandemic. The program, though, has not seen as much activity as expected due to the terms of conditions and higher borrowing costs, with less than 20 companies using the credit facility so far. Sunwing, though, flies mainly to the Caribbean and Mexico and has been forced to shut down much of its operations, employing 3,000 staff. The cash, though, still does not answer questions for passengers holding tickets to canceled flights, as negotiations on that continue with Ottawa. In the Business Center, I'm Mike Eppel.
680 News Time, 6:37. European police are warning that fraudulent negative COVID-19 test results are being sold to international travelers to help them avoid pandemic restrictions. They say illicit sales of fake certificates have been discovered in Britain, France, Spain, and the Netherlands. Several arrests have been made, including at an airport in Paris in November, where 7 people were charged with forgery, use of forgery, and complicity in fraud. The suspects were caught selling certificates ranging between $230 and $465 Canadian. The National Post reports neither Canada Border Services Agency nor Health Canada would say if false COVID-19 test certificates have been found here. A CBSA spokesperson says officers are watching for them and they have the authority to review, challenge, and confirm travelers' statements and direct them to a quarantine officer.
This is 680 News. It's Groundhog Day, but those eager to see it, the furry forecasters predict an early spring. We'll have to do so virtually this year. 680's Laura Carney joins us live, setting the scene. Laura.
And Catherine, this is the 65th time Wyerton Willie, the albino groundhog, will be called upon to make his prediction. If he sees a shadow, it means 6 more weeks of winter. No shadow, we're in for an early spring. Because of the pandemic, this year's event is online. Willie's set to make his prediction at 8:07. Fun fact, since 1999, Willie has only been right 32% of the time. I know, hard to believe. But first up on this Groundhog Day, we will look to Nova Scotia, where Shubenacadie Sam will make his prediction. That's coming around 7. And of course, we can't forget our furry friend in the U.S.
Once a year, the eyes of the nation turn to this tiny hamlet in western Pennsylvania to watch a master at work. The master? Punxsutawney Phil, the world's most famous weatherman, the groundhog.
And our meteorologist Jill Taylor says she is on team early spring, but warns February is going to be cold.
Do have a little bit of a mild spell Wednesday through to Friday with temperatures above average, may even hit +3 or maybe even 4 by Thursday, Friday morning, and then things really cool down.
And the 680 weather specialists and meteorologists are split right down the middle as to whether we will see 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring. Reporting live, Laura Carney, 680 News.
680 News Time, 640.
1877 cars for kids. KARS cars for kids. 1877 cars for kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1877 cars for kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today, and your car can be gone tomorrow.
Still to come on 680 News, delays on the eastbound Gardner from Parklawn to York because of 2 collisions. We'll have traffic and weather together in 60 seconds.
680 News Time, 640.
Need window inspiration? Then you need to speak to the experts. Hi, I'm Tom Rokiki of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. Our window experts are experienced in working with architects, builders, and homeowners to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So whether you're replacing your old windows or building your dream home, dream the dream with Inline Fiberglass. If you can dream it, we can build it. Visit our Factory Direct showroom, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or inlinefiberglass.com.
License 10349.
Northwood Mortgage. People don't usually sing about their mortgage, but at Northwood Mortgage they do. They sing about lower rates. They sing about greater cash flow. They sing because we help them. You could be singing about your mortgage too. Come on, try it with us. Northwood Mortgage. Come on, try it. Northwood Mortgage. There you go. Call or visit us today at northwoodmortgage.com.
We're working harder for you.
680 News Time, 641.
Time for 680 News, traffic and weather together on the ones for Canadian Blood Services. Up we go to Trevor 680. Here's Jordan Kerr.
Flying over the Gardner, where we have 2 crashes heading downtown. Eastbound Gardner approaching Jameson. Part of the left lane is blocked off, all because of a crash. Just a tow on scene, no other emergency crews. And then east of York, just before the ramp to Jarvis, this is where the big one is. We have 2 right lanes and the ramp lane blocked off, and the ramp to Jarvis partially blocked, all because of a collision. Lots of emergency crews on scene. So eastbound on the Gardner is jammed, approaching Parklawn to approaching Jameson, and then from the X grounds, barely moving over to just before Jarvis, where we have only the left lane getting through. And it looks like more emergency crews are trying to get through to that scene as well. Looking down at eastbound Lakeshore as an alternate, probably the best one right now. It's getting busier and busier, but far better than the eastbound Gardner heading downtown. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
Just a clean, terrible drive on the southbound DVP as well. Approaching Bayview Bloor, 2 right lanes blocked by emergency crews because of a crash, and delays from the 401 to approaching Bayview Bloor. It's very slow, so plan an alternate there. Southbound Don Mills is fine. That works well. You can also take Victoria Park on the other side, perhaps onto O'Connor into East York. No other problems on the rest of our highways, though, and no major issues on city streets. A message from Canadian Blood Services. Join Canada's Lifeline by donating blood, plasma, or platelets, or registering a stem cell as a stem cell or organ donor. Join today at blood.ca. Next report at 6:51, and with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Cold temperatures and cold wind chill for us this morning. We'll have some sunshine though, and then the clouds increase. Guaranteed high -2, -6 for the low. It'll feel colder with that gusty north wind. And then tomorrow, milder, lots of sunshine. up to +1. Right now it feels like -18 with that north wind. It's -10 degrees, partly cloudy at Pearson, -7 and clear at 680 News. Wind chill -13 downtown. Guaranteed high today, -2.
680 News Time, 6:43.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to Mike Apple at the 680 Business Center. How are they shaping up there, Mike?
Pretty good, Paul. We've got the markets on the rise here with the best day in 8 months, Monday, for the TSX, coming off a gain of 355 points. We'll see if we build on that, because a lot of that was based on a surge in valuation for metal and mining companies. And that was spurred on by a big spike for silver, which this morning silver prices have cooled off by about 6%. So we could see a pullback there. Some of the high-flying tech stocks on Bay Street also starting the week with some sizable gains, including Shopify and Constellation Software. Wall Street looks strong with the Dow futures up 234 points. Price for oil at a one-year high this morning, up $1.25 at 54.80. Crude catching a bid, and it's coming from some commentary out of Saudi Arabia. The price for gold is up $15 at 18.48, and the Canadian dollar higher by a quarter cent, 78.04. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
We're all rethinking risk these days. Your investments should be no exception. A financial advisor can help you build a resilient portfolio. Learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
Still to come on 680 News.
The Raptors drop a quick but important message.
Black history is everything.
Kicking off Black History Month.
This is 680 News.
Today on Hey Culligan, the best things in life are free. Water tests. Let's go to Candace.
Hey, Culligan, how do I learn more about my water?
Candace, let me just test the waters here.
Okay.
Literally test your water.
Oh.
For free.
Free?
Free, Candace. In-home water tests for free. So you know more about your water and how to make it better with Culligan water. And Candace,
yeah,
we're already on the way.
Oh, good.
Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Are you looking for a trusted and experienced online high school where you can earn credits or upgrade your marks? Learn at home with Ontario Virtual School, Ontario's leading online learning provider. With over 10 years of experience, OVS has over 120 interactive and engaging courses to choose from, including STEM, French immersion, and more. Sign up today, set your own schedule, and get 24-hour access to their certified teachers. To learn more and see why over 20,000 students have chosen to learn with OVS, visit ontariovirtualschool.ca.
Toronto's news. Now, this is 680 News.
It's a clear sky, -7 in downtown Toronto, wind chill -13. Good morning, I'm Catherine Jeté.
I'm Paul Cook. Here are the top stories this Tuesday morning.
The Prime Minister is expected to announce the makings of an agreement to make COVID-19 vaccines in this country, as a new poll shows most Ontarians blame his government for the current shortage of shots. City Hall will consider extending COVID-19 bylaws, including masking and physical distancing today at the first council meeting of the year. And workplace spread in the spotlight, as a Toronto Star analysis reveals 65% of workers in the GTA are considered essential, prompting concerns the current pandemic lockdown measures don't go far enough.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Simon Bennett.
Well, not just Groundhog Day telling us when the weather might get better, but the sign that spring training is just over 2 weeks away, and that is confirmed now. The Players Association officially rejecting the owner's proposal of pushing the start of the season back with slightly fewer games. So now, baseball instructing its teams to get ready to open on time, which means spring training in just over 2 weeks. Opening day, April 1st. NHL last night. Montreal now 6-1-2 in the young season. They hammered the Canucks 6-2. The Flames of a Winnipeg 4-3 in a shootout. The Leafs host Vancouver on Thursday. NBA and the second half of the Raptors home and home with Orlando is tonight, 7 o'clock on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Sportsnet Ontario, and Sportsnet 1. OG Anunoby already ruled out with his calf strain. Tokyo 2020 President Yoshiro Mori saying this morning the Olympics will happen as planned this summer, despite COVID numbers around the world, and despite recent reports officials privately fear the games will be canceled. Sports 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 6:48.
5-star Google reviews are the best reviews any company can get. This drumbeat represents one. Many companies have some. And this is how many Search Kings has. Search Kings has hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. No wonder Google hand-selected Search Kings as a Google Premier Partner. And they're Canadian. You want to stand out where your customers are online? Switch to Search Kings.
Sarah, you with me? Sorry, Jeff wants to talk retirement plans tonight. We're getting killed on fees. You should check out Questrade. We switched over last year. It's been great for us. With everything going on these days, we'll be fine. Sarah, look at me. You, Jeff, the kids deserve to be way more than just fine.
It's time to switch to Questrade. See how you can retire wealthier with a Questwealth Portfolio's RRSP at questrade.com.
680 News Time, 6:49.
The Raptors have posted a video marking Black History Month. Our Jeff Rehoman takes a look.
Yeah, a bunch of Raptors from Norm Powell to OG Anunoby to Malachi Flynn taking part in this video.
To me, Black history is everything. To me, Black history is important, crucial. To me, Black history is extremely important for everyone to focus on, especially the youth, where we can look back at the past and see what we want to do in the future.
Yeah, just the start of the Raptors celebrating Black History Month. Stanley Johnson opening up.
Understanding where I come from, my culture, my ancestors, understanding the struggles that they had to get through to have the freedoms that I have today.
You can watch the video on the Raptors' social media channels. I'm Jeff Rehoman.
680 News Time, 6:50.
You understand your business better than anyone. And no matter what challenges and opportunities you face, you always find a way to keep moving forward. The BDC understands your reality. As the bank for Canadian entrepreneurs, we provide the financing and advisory services you need to plan your path to the future. We're here for what's ahead, so you never have to look back. BDC, financing, advising, smart.
If there's one vehicle made for winter in Canada, it's a Subaru. Whether it's rain, sleet, or snow, symmetrical all-wheel drive works full-time to give you all the traction you need to be safe on the road. And if there's one dealership ready to help you through this winter, it's your local Subaru dealer. By ensuring all safety protocols are in place, we've made shopping for a Subaru as safe as driving one. Book your appointment and bring on winter safely at your nearest Subaru dealer.
680 News Time, 6:51.
Time for 680 News, traffic and weather together on the ones. For Pizza, up we go to Chopper 680. Here's Jordan Kerr.
I've been flying around these two issues on the eastbound Gardner. So eastbound Gardner approaching Jameson, we have part of the left lane blocked off all because of a crash. And then east of York, just before the ramp to Jarvis at the start of it, we have the two right lanes blocked off and the ramp lane blocked off all because of a collision. It is jammed eastbound on the Gardner from approaching Park Lawn to approaching Jameson. A break and then slow going from the X grounds solid to east of York to just before the Jarvis ramp. The ramp to Jarvis is partially blocked, but you can still sneak by over the Bullnose. Looking at alternates, eastbound Lakeshore, the best one. Once you get east of Spadina, or once you get to Spadina, I should say, it does get slow at the lights, but it's far better than the eastbound Gardner. From the 680 Traffic Center, here's Kyle Hawking.
Major delays as well on the southbound DVP approaching Bayview Bloor. Two right lanes also blocked with a collision, only the left lane squeezing past quite slowly. And we have a major delay from the 401 to approaching Bayview Bloor, so take any alternate that you like, as they'll all be better than that southbound DVP. Looks like a new problem on the eastbound 401 approaching Avenue Road in the Express. The right lane partially blocked with the stalled transports backing up from east of the Allen to approaching Avenue Express. So switch into the collectors as you get to the Allen to avoid that. It is Groundhog Day, and today only get 50% off regular priced pizzas at Pizza. Use the code 50OFF, that's 50 off, online and on the Pizza app. Next reported 7:01, and with the extended forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
And the groundhog may see his shadow this morning with the sunshine this morning, and that's not a good thing because then that means more winter. I'm on Team Spring. Either way, I just want an early spring. It's going to be cold, though. We will have a brief warm-up Wednesday through to Friday morning, and then, most of February looking quite cold. Guaranteed high today, -2. We'll start with that sunshine, then increasing cloud, -6 for the low. And then tomorrow, lots of sunshine, milder up to +1. Thursday, we get into the snow, but until late evening overnight. Mixes with rain for Friday. A high near 3-4 degrees Friday, and then falling temperatures Friday afternoon. Right now, it feels like -18. It's partly cloudy, -10 degrees at Pearson, -7 at 680 News.
Today's guaranteed high, -2.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Gorenia Appliances. Save up to $1,100 on Gorenia laundry, washer, and dryer combos. Visit your premium appliance retailer or ELA.ca.
Coming up at 7 o'clock with a new poll suggesting most Ontarians blame the federal government for the vaccine shortage. The Prime Minister is expected to announce a plan to produce the shots in this country.
680 News Time, 6:53.
At Scotiabank, we know it can be hard to balance your savings goals and enjoy your life today, but the Scotiabank Savings Accelerator account can help. For a limited time, earn 1.5% interest to help grow your TFSA or RRSP faster. So, you can accelerate towards what your head has planned for tomorrow and let your heart enjoy what it needs today. Visit scotiabank.com/accelerate to open a savings accelerator account today. Conditions apply. Interest is calculated daily.
680 News Insiders. It pays to be a member.
This week, you could win tickets to celebrate Chinese New Year virtually at the 32nd Annual Yihang Dragon Ball. Enjoy a fantastic evening of fine cuisine, a cooking demonstration by master chefs, and spectacular entertainment.
For your chance to win or to become an insider, visit 680news.com/contests.
Despite growing COVID-19 cases around the world, the top executive in charge of the Tokyo Olympics says the Games will still take place this summer. Our Simon Bennett has more.
Despite recent reports that officials privately fear the Games will be canceled, Tokyo 2020 boss Yoshiro Mori stated quite the opposite, saying the Games will go on however the coronavirus evolves, with a focus on holding them safely. CNN's Blake Essig.
Olympic officials have said that vaccines will not be a prerequisite for athletes to compete in these Summer Olympic Games, but there will be rules in place.
Those rules expected to be announced tomorrow. IOC Vice President John Coates telling Sky News that includes testing within 72 hours of going to Tokyo, again on arrival, and then every 4 days. This comes as COVID numbers remain high in many areas of the world, including Japan. The opening ceremonies are scheduled for July 23rd, and the IOC has recently said there is no plan B. I'm Simon Bennett.
Still to come on 680 News, somebody's getting hurt. GameStop is tumbling in pre-market trading. We'll have the business report.
680 News Time, 6:55.
RRSP season is here. Consider Israel Bonds for your RRSP and tax-free savings account. Israel Bonds are now paying up to 3.10% in Canadian dollars, subject to conditions. Israel Bonds are sold in Canada by Canada Israel Securities Limited. Diversify your RRSP and TFSA with Israel Bonds. Rates up to 3.10% are available until February 14th. Call Israel Bonds today at 416-789-3351 or visit israelbonds.ca.
How was your run?
Incredible. My new Fitbit from TSC is great, and I feel so rested lately with our new Casper mattress. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle is easy with TSC.
Living well looks good on you. Shop TSC.ca. Today's shopping choice.
I love working out at home.
Our Echelon rower from TSC is awesome.
TSC's interest-free easy pays make it so affordable.
Yeah, my new Apple AirPods are great for meetings and for working out. Living well looks good on you. Shop TSC.ca. Today's shopping choice.
680 News Time, 6:56.
Now the 680 News business report. Here's Mike Apple.
Good morning, Catherine. I'll start with GameStop because Friday last week it was all the rage. It was up by 60% heading into the weekend. Of course, last week the Reddit rally took GameStop up to $483 per share. That was then. This is now. The stock right now indicated at $160, which is down 25% from where it closed yesterday, coming off a loss of 30% in Monday's trade. So the Reddit rally has certainly reversed here. AMC, another high flyer, down 25% pre-market. BlackBerry was higher by about 5% yesterday. Could be looking at a bit of a tumble here in the early trading. The TSX is coming off a strong start to the week. In fact, the best day in 8 months for the Bay Street benchmark, up 355 points. And the venture market gained more than 4%, spurred on by a surging price for silver as fund flows into the silver ETFs sent that metal up 13%. Again, that was yesterday. This morning, silver's back down by 6%. So we could see some profit taking on some of those high-flying stocks. Some of them were up by as much as 70% Monday. The Dow Jones coming off a gain of 229 this morning, another gain of 240 points on the futures contract, and earnings coming in from Pfizer, which is looking at about $15 billion in revenue from vaccine sales. And UPS, not in parcel, is showing a profit increase of 26%, spurred on by record-breaking e-commerce, shipment deliveries. We have the price for oil at a one-year high, $54.80. That's up $1.25. Some bullish commentary coming out of Saudi Arabia's state-controlled energy company, Saudi Aramco, related to the metrics on supply and demand. Gold is down $18, $18.46. The Canadian dollar holding at 78 cents U.S. Top stories of the morning up next to the Business Center. I'm Mike Apple.
Prioritizing your family's health is important, and getting an annual eye exam is an essential part of it. So visit your neighborhood Pearl Vision. They put safety first. And right now, they're also offering 40% off lenses for adults, but free lenses for kids with frame purchase. They direct bill most insurance plans, too, making the process easy. Why wait any longer? Arrange your family's eye exams at pearlvision.ca today. Valid prescription required. Valid at participating locations. Restrictions apply. Taxes extra. See store for details. Ends March 31st, 2021. Exams available at the Independent Doctors of Optometry at or next to Pearl Vision. Across Canada, 35,000 people are homeless each night. Many don't have access to doctors or the health care they need. That's something we're helping to change. TELUS Health for Good brings medical and mental health care directly to those who need it most. Our mobile health clinics bring compassionate care to the streets of 13 communities across Canada, including here in the GTA. Learn more about our mobile health clinics at telus.com/health-for-good. Let's make the future friendly together.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for capitaldirect.ca. Take a little, pay a little. A Flexi line by Capital Direct allows you to take only what you need when you want it. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL to see what's available for you.
In downtown Toronto, a clear sky, -7, wind chill -13. 680 News at CFTR AM Toronto. It's 7 o'clock.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
It's Tuesday, February 2nd. Good morning. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jeté. Here's what's making news right now.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau expected to announce plans today to produce COVID vaccines in Canada. This, as a new poll finds most of us blame the government for the supply shortage.
The first meeting of Toronto City Council in the new year begins today. On the agenda, extending mask and physical distancing bylaws at least until June.
Do we need more than a lockdown to battle COVID-19? Workplace spread is considered a major factor, but a Toronto Star study finds 65% of workers in the GTA are considered essential.
How the rest of the winter season is shaping up all comes down to this. It is Groundhog Day, where weather prognosticating rodents will predict an early spring or 6 more weeks of winter.
The baseball season set to start on time after the players officially reject the latest proposal from the owners, and the Raptors look to sweep the home and home with Orlando tonight. Sports at 15.
Now futures up by 250 points. Pfizer and UPS in with strong earnings. And GameStop taking a nosedive in pre-market trade. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 7:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones, brought to you by Quest Trade. Jordan Cars, Airborne, and Shopper 680. Good morning, Jordan.
Good morning, Paul. Flying over the Gardner. A bit of good news and some bad news. East Gardner, east of York, just before the Jarvis ramp crash just cleared away, but we have 2 other crashes. First of all, eastbound Gardner on top of the Humber Bridge. Left lane is blocked off with a crash, and then approaching Jameson, the left lane is blocked off with another crash. So delays eastbound Gardner on and off from east of Parklawn towards Jarvis. From the 680 Traffic Center, here's Kyle Hawking.
Problems on the southbound DVP still approaching Baby Bloor, blocking 2 right lanes. We have a heavy delay from about Lawrence now down towards Baby Bloor. It's very slow. And then we have a problem northbound 404 approaching Finch. Ramp lane is blocked with a crash, not much of a delay. Now have a view of this problem on the eastbound 401 approaching Avenue in the Express. Right lane blocked with a stalled transport heavy from the Allen Express. It is Groundhog Day. Today, only get 50% off regular price pizzas at Pizza Pizza. Use the code 50OFF online and on the Pizza Pizza app. Next report at 7:11, and with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Well, it's a cold start to Groundhog Day. We'll have some sunshine this morning and then increasing cloud. Right now it feels like -18 at Toronto Pearson with that north wind. It's -10 degrees, partly cloudy there, -7 and clear at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high, -2.
680 News Time, 7:03.
Made in Canada vaccines could be the answer to the slow rollout of COVID-19 shots in this country. And there's word an announcement on that front could be coming today.
It comes as a new poll shows most people in this province blame Ottawa for the current vaccine shortage. 680's Jamie Pulford joins us live with the story. Jamie.
Yeah, Catherine, it seems like it should have been happening already. COVID vaccines made here at home instead of relying on foreign production for the most sought-after product on the planet. Now, there have been tensions with the European Union already, where most of Canada's supply is coming from. So we're expecting a big announcement from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau today, something he hinted at back in August.
Once a vaccine is proven to work, we'll also need to be able to produce and distribute it here at home.
Now, Trudeau talking about investing in the biomanufacturing facility at the National Research Council in Montreal. It's said to be ready this summer. At the time, he was also announcing deals with Novavax and Johnson & Johnson. Those vaccines have yet to be approved by Health Canada. Now, this is a new campaign research poll finds most people in Ontario, 52%, blame the federal government for the current vaccine shortage. We know that new but scaled back shipments are expected from both Pfizer and Moderna this week. And looking at the big picture, just over 975,000 Canadians have been vaccinated so far. Compare that to the UK, where the number is more than 9 million, one of the highest vaccination rates in the world. Reporting live, Jamie Pulfer, 680 News.
680 News Time, 7:04. Well, happening now, the Groundhog Day prognostications have begun. You know, so Catherine Detaille is getting a real chuckle out of that. She's a Groundhog Day hater. But anyway, our Laura Carney joins us live from our Marmot Bureau. You didn't know we had one of those, did you? With who's first out of the burrow. Laura.
All right, Paul. Yeah. And you know what? It's a weird flex, but I do love Groundhog Day. I don't know why, but I do. And first up is Shubenacadie Sam out of Nova Scotia. And some good news. No shadow. So you know what that means. Shubenacadie Sam is predicting an early spring. Okay, so that's 1 down, 2 to go. We now switch our focus to Wyerton Willie. There's also Punxsutawney Phil in the U.S. So as far as Wyerton Willie is concerned, this is the 65th anniversary, if you can believe it, of that festival. It will, of course, be held virtually. And brushing up on her groundhoggies, the mayor, Janice Jackson, speaking on the Roz and Mocha show this morning.
The prediction morning in the festival is such a big event, and we get thousands of people that come. So it's very difficult to have to tell everybody and all the media that they're sorry, but we just can't host you this year. But we'll be back up and running and bigger than ever next year.
And now our meteorologist, Jill Taylor, may not speak groundhoggies, but she does speak weather. And while she is team early spring, it's not looking like that might be a reality. Little mild spell Wednesday through to Friday morning. Really notice a sharp drop in the temperature Friday as well, so we'll have to watch for the potential for a flash freeze Friday. We do have some snow in the forecast as well. So again, we have one for Team Spring, that's Shubenacadie Sam, and now we await for Wyerton Willie, that coming down at 8:07. Also, we await to hear from Punxsutawney Phil. Reporting live, Laura Carney, 680 News. 680 News Time, 7:06. City Hall is set to discuss extending COVID-19 bylaws, including mandatory physical distancing and masking today, as the fight against the second wave continues. 680's Kevin Meisner joins us live. Kevin.
Well, Catherine, it is unlikely we'll see any changes in the bylaws mandating masks and physical distancing in the city of Toronto. City Council is set to approve the request by the Medical Officer of Health to keep those bylaws in place at least until the June meeting of Council. Dr. Eileen Davila says the new variants of COVID-19 are making their presence known, and that makes it even more important than ever to keep our distance.
So as to avoid close contact with others to the greatest extent possible. This is what actually reduces the spread of COVID-19 and therefore reduces the impact of the variants of concern.
Now, the paused demolition of the Dominion Foundry buildings also going to be debated by City Council, along with an update on how the city is dealing with the use of Airbnb units and other short-term rentals for parties and other rule violations. Also on the agenda for Toronto City Councillors, asking for a report on expanding the city's cycling network for another season of active TO. At Toronto City Hall, Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News Time, 7:07. Who decides who's essential? Only people in jobs considered essential are allowed to physically go into work amid the stay-at-home order, but the designation may apply to more GTA residents than many expected. 680's Carl Hansky joins us live from outside a meatpacking plant in the city's northwest, dealing with an outbreak with the story and reaction. Carl.
Yeah, well, this meat processing plant on Signet Drive here in North York is temporarily closed due to an outbreak that has seen 78 workers test positive for COVID-19, including 2 confirmed to have the more infectious UK variant. Area workers say the virus spread fast through this plant.
Because they're too close together, there's nowhere to go.
One gets sick and it goes down the line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
Now, essential work like this is a major source of spread, but a Toronto Star data analysis found that despite lockdown restrictions, 65% of workers in the GTA are still considered essential and working outside of the home. Most in production plants or factories like this one working in close quarters with little or no sick pay, and it's making any COVID containment that much more challenging. Reporting live in North York, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News Time 7:08. Organizers for the upcoming Olympic Games in Tokyo insist the event will take place this summer. Our Simon Bennett has the latest.
Tokyo 2020 head Yoshiro Mori addressing the status of the upcoming Olympics this morning and continues to cast little doubt on their plans, at least publicly, reaffirming that the Games will take place however the coronavirus evolves, adding the discussion is no longer about the if, but how. CNN's Blake Essig.
Tomorrow they plan on releasing a series of playbooks which are going to outline some rules that athletes and other people involved in the Games are going to have to follow in order to deliver a safe and secure Summer Olympic Games.
That could include testing in your home country 72 hours before leaving for Tokyo, then testing every 4 days on site. The IOC has said there is no plan B in place outside of starting the Games on July 23rd as scheduled. I'm Simon Bennett.
680 News Time 7:09.
This is 680 News.
The signs were all there, but you chose to ignore them. Clean me, wash me, I'm filthy, or even just a frowny face on your windshield, telling you it's time for a car wash. Luckily, Shell is here to take care of sparkling clean washes and getting you more. When Air Miles collectors fuel up at Shell and purchase an ultimate car wash, they can save 5 cents per liter on their next visit to Shell. Shell, taking care of that clean car feeling. Learn more at shell.ca/takingcare. Terms and conditions apply.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones, including major delays on the eastbound Gardner from Park Lawn to York because of 2 collisions.
680 News Time 7:10.
Virtuo by Nespresso. Redefining coffee. Savor a new morning ritual. Innovative technology means preparing your perfect cup of coffee has never been so simple. Allowing you to start your day in the most exceptional way. Virtuo, your morning coffee redefined. Nespresso, what else?
Tonight on CBC.
Ooh, something special?
The moment you've been waiting for. Welcome back to Kids and Radio. TJ Upper Kids. The kids are back. And we got front row seats. For real? Yes. Very cool. Perfect. And there's lots in store.
I don't want to talk about it. It's probably good to talk about. Talk about
Kids Convenience. New episode. Tonight at 8 on CBC and CBC Gem.
680 News Time 7:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Airborne Chopper 680 Jordan Kerr.
I'm flying around the DVP in Bloor, where we have 2 issues now. So southbound DVP approaching Baby Bloor, we now have 2 left lanes blocked off. It looks like a stalled vehicle, and Toronto Transportation just came on scene. So traffic's just getting by in the right lane. And then a bit further along, just before the ramp to Baby Bloor, the 2 right lanes are blocked off because of this ongoing crash. So traffic then just getting by in the left lane. Southbound DVP is jammed from Lawrence, solid down to approaching Baby Bloor. You're looking at alternate southbound Don Mills is good until it ends. And then you can take O'Connor over to Broadview, that down to Pottery Road, then to the Bayview Extension. The Bayview Extension itself is also moving well, just a tough spot to get around. On the opposite side, northbound 404 approaching Finch, we have part of the right lane and the ramp lane blocked up with the crash. A lot of emergency crews on scene. From the 680 Traffic Center, here's Kyle Hawking.
Looking at problems on the eastbound Gardner at the Humber Bridge. Left lane and part of the center lane blocked with the collision crews on scene. Jammed from east to Parkline to the Humber Bridge, then jammed again, approaching Parkside to Jameson, where the left lane is blocked with another crash, then jammed again, east of Jameson over towards York. because of a third collision that has cleared, so it's still busy even beyond Jameson into downtown with residual volume. And we have a problem on the westbound 401, looks like approaching Salem Road, right shoulder occupied with a collision, slow from Lake Ridge to approaching Salem. And on the east 401, issues east of make that approaching Avenue Express have cleared, still busy Allen to Avenue Express. Your next report at 7:21, and with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Strong and gusty north wind this morning, gusts up to about 35 kilometers per hour in many spots. If you have to head out this morning, dress for a wind chill -14 to -18. Some sunshine this morning, then increasing cloud, guaranteed high -2, -6 for the low. It'll feel like -14 early Wednesday. We'll still have that north wind. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, though, and up to +1. Right now, mostly cloudy. Conditions now reported at Pearson Airport, -9 degrees there, -7, partly cloudy at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high, -2. 680 News time, 7:13.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to Mike Epple at the 680 News Business Center. Mike.
Catherine, good morning. Pretty good tone here on the markets to start the day with the Dow futures up 221. Bay Street might get a lift from energy stocks as the price for oil is at a one-year high this morning. It's at $54, almost $55 per barrel, gaining 2.5% in the early going. Natural gas up another 5%. So the metals have reversed. Silver is down 6%, was up as much as 13% yesterday. Gold is down $15 at $18.48. We're looking over earnings from Pfizer, UPS, and Harley-Davidson. After the bell, we'll get numbers from Amazon and Google's parent company, Alphabet. The price for the Canadian dollar at 78.05 is right now up by 1/4 cent at the Business Center. I'm Mike Epple.
When it comes to investing, it's time to consider the alternatives. Dynamic Funds sees diversification differently. Ask a financial advisor how and learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
Still ahead on 680 News, latest morning headlines, and
guess what the late night shows wanted to talk about?
At this rate, Trump's going to be the first president to show up to his impeachment trial with a public defender.
Yep, right back to Donald Trump.
This is 680 News.
Out with the old and in with the new. It's something you hear a lot this time of year. Making space in your life is what a new year is for. Get a fresh start in your home and your life with Access Storage. With a safe place to store the belongings you love but don't have space for. Access Storage can be your resolution solution with flexible and affordable storage options and more than 100 convenient locations in Ontario. Get on with your new year. Access Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit accessstorage.ca.
Today on Hey Culligan, softer equals better. Here's a tweet from @Itchy in Waterloo. Hey Culligan, my laundry is so scratchy, I just cut myself on a cable knit sweater. Any suggestions? #send help. Hey @Itchy in Waterloo. Yes, the Culligan high efficiency water softener will make that thing so soft it'll go from cable knit to cable knot. Itchy. #soft laundry. #already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
Morning sunshine, then increasing cloud with a gusty north wind for the GTA today, and a 680 News guaranteed high of -2. Good morning. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jeté. Here are the top stories right now.
With Canada lagging behind most G7 countries in the COVID vaccine rollout, and a new poll showing most of us in this province blame Ottawa, Prime Minister Trudeau expected to announce today plans to produce the shot here in Canada. A Toronto Star analysis finds 65% of GTA workers are considered essential, but most have low wages and lack paid sick leave and are the highest at risk of spreading COVID despite the lockdown. It's Groundhog Day again, but this year the decades-old tradition's getting an online upgrade due to the pandemic. And this morning's furry forecasters' predictions of an early winter or 6 more weeks of spring, or early spring or 6 more weeks of winter. I'm getting this all messed up this morning. It's an annual tradition. Yes, are being streamed a lot. There you go.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet, 590 The Fan, Simon Bennett.
Well, get ready for an April 1st opening day. Major League Baseball, the Office of the Commissioner, instructing teams to prepare to begin spring training on time after the players officially rejected a proposal that would have seen the season pushed back to April 28th with fewer games. So that means pitchers and catchers are scheduled to report to spring training in just over 2 weeks. Jays opening day, April 1st against the Yankees in the Bronx. And by the way, one of the newest Blue Jays, Marcus Semien, will be in Tim and Sid today, 5:45. To the NHL, the Habs getting 2 goals from Jeff Petrie, 6-2 winners over the Canucks. Calgary over the Jets 4-3 in a shootout. The Leafs with a rare few days off to face the Canucks on Thursday. Tony DeAngelo has cleared waivers with the Rangers, saying he has played their last game for them. No official details as to the last straw, but multiple reports say it was a fight with teammate Alexander Georgiev in the tunnel after their loss to Pittsburgh over the weekend. NBA, the Raptors with the second of the home-and-home with the Magic tonight, 7 o'clock on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, Sportsnet Ontario, and Sportsnet 1. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 7:18.
Let's pretend I was going to ask you to marry me.
Oh, okay.
So what kind of ring would you have in mind?
Well, something simple, but not too subtle and not traditional. But not traditional, you know. Canadian-made, elegant, stunning, and uniquely representative of our everlasting love.
Okay.
But honestly, I haven't really thought about it that much.
Right. Find that perfectly unique ring for that perfectly unique person at Spence Diamonds. Shop online at SpenceDiamonds.com.
Subway restaurants are pleased to announce our brand new valet service.
Really? Subway's got valet?
Well, no, but Subway's new curbside pickup is the next best thing. Right now, buy 2 footlongs and get 1 free when you order through the Subway app. Subway, eat fresh. Freshly made per order. 3 subs equal or lesser price. Extras additional. Participating shops. No additional discounts.
680 News Time, 7:19. Well, she wasn't mentioned by name, but a newly elected House Republican from Georgia is receiving harsh criticism from the top Senate Republican.
Republican Senator Mitch McConnell releasing a blistering statement on fellow party member, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying, quote, "Loony lies and conspiracy theories are cancer for the Republican Party in our country. Someone who suggested that perhaps no planes hit the Pentagon on 9/11, that horrifying school shootings were pre-staged, and that the Clintons crashed JFK Jr.'s airplane is not living in reality." Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
This is 680 News. Emmy and Tony-winning actor Hal Holbrook has died at the age of 95. New York Times reports the actor actually died back on January 23rd at his home in Beverly Hills. His death was confirmed by his assistant last night. ABC's Bill Deal now looks back on Holbrook's career.
Hal Holbrook was best known for his many performances as Mark Twain on stage and on television.
I came by railroad. It's one of those trains that gets tired every 7 minutes. I have to stop and rest for 3/4 of an hour.
Holbrook loved acting and told ABC's Robin Roberts,
"So why do you keep working?" And I said, "What am I going to do? Play golf? Acting is more fun than golf."
Holbrook was married to actress designing women's star Dixie Carter, who passed away in 2010. Bill Deal, ABC News.
680 News Time, 7:20.
Your head says, make sound investments for the future. But your heart says, invest in that new sound system right now. With Advice Plus from Scotiabank, we can help you balance both. So you can live for today and save for tomorrow. Working together, we'll build a plan and add investment solutions along the way. So, the plan that helps you invest for tomorrow can still sound fantastic today. Get started at scotiabank.com/investing. Advice Plus. Only from Scotiabank.
There's still a lot of winter left. Is your furnace up to it? Call Reliance Home Comfort for a repair or replacement. We're here 24/7, and we'll get there fast. Reliance has over 50,000 5-star reviews, and you can count on our commitment to safety precautions. And remember to ask about our next day or we pay installation guarantee. Call today and save 30% off our featured furnace. Get a great furnace deal now.
God, Reliance.
Conditions apply. Savings off our regular price. See website for details.
7:21. Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by 407 ETR. We go to Shopper 680. Where are you flying, Jordan?
Over the Don Valley Parkway, and it is a miserable drive coming southbound. Southbound DVP approaching Baby Bloor. We have 2 issues. First of all, the left lane's blocked off with a stalled vehicle. Toronto Transportation on scene, but no tows yet. And then a bit closer to the ramp, 2 right lanes are blocked off with a crash. All the vehicles here are hooked up. They're trying to move everything into the right lane and maybe get out of here soon. The southbound DVP is jam solid approaching Lawrence. Just just crawling all the way down to approaching Bayview Wharf. Southbound Don Hill's a decent alternate. Southbound Bayview gets very heavy approaching Eglinton as you hit that single lane construction, but overall is a better drive. The Bayview extension itself, once you're south and more, is definitely moving very well. And the other issue is northbound on the 404. On the opposite side, approaching Finch, we have the right lane and ramp lane blocked up, all because of a crash. It's now backed up from Shepherd. From the 680 traffic center, Kyle Hawking.
Problem still on the eastbound Gardner at the Humber Bridge. 2 left lanes fully blocked up by emergency crews. Only the right lane open, heavy from east to Parkland to the Humber Bridge. And then approaching Jameson, left lane still blocked for the crash. Police now on scene here doing an investigation, heavy from Parkside to approaching Jameson. Past that, it does open up. And then westbound 401 approaching Salem, problem on the right shoulder causing a delay from Lakeridge. Your only 401 problem or delay. 407 ETR would like to thank everyone who continues to help fight COVID-19. Visit 407etr.com/road to recovery to see how they're doing their part. Next report at 7:31, and with the extended forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Well, it's cold this morning with that gusty north wind, but milder air is on the way. A brief warm-up for us. Guaranteed high -2. We'll start with a bit of sunshine, and then clouds increase. That gusty, strong north wind will stay with us through the day and tonight. -6 for the low. It'll feel like -14 early tomorrow. Lots of sunshine Wednesday. Snow moves in late Thursday overnight, then changes to some rain for Friday. Morning high Friday 3, dropping to -4 for Friday afternoon. So colder air back in, and it's going to stick around right now, no matter what that groundhog says, by the way. Right now, mostly cloudy, -9 degrees at Pearson, -7 at 680 News. Feels like -14 to about -18 when you factor in that wind. Today's guaranteed high, -2.
Jill Taylor throwing some groundhog shade this morning.
Them's good eating at her place.
Well, Jill did make the weather guarantee yesterday. That means our jackpot climbs to $1,200.
Coming up at 7:30, Prime Minister Trudeau set to announce plans today to make the COVID-19 vaccine in this country, while a new poll says most of us in this province blame Ottawa for the shortage. And yes, it's Groundhog Day again. Why this year it's not exactly the same old, same old.
680 News Time 7:24.
In times like these, shouldn't your money work even harder for you? We think so. That's why at Duca Credit Union, you get no-fee checking accounts. You also get high interest on deposits and investments, and low mortgage rates. Plus, you get to share in the profits. That's the Duca difference. And now, get rates as low as 1.79% on a 5-year fixed mortgage when you switch to Duca. Find out how at mortgage.duca.com. Do more, be more, achieve more with Duca Credit Union. Conditions apply.
This portion of 680 News brought to you by employmentlawyer.ca. Well, the late night host's first shows of the week focused on Donald Trump and his lawyers. Our Jeff Verhoeven has highlights from some of the monologues.
Yeah, as I'm sure you know, over the weekend, Donald Trump's lawyers quit on him, and then he hired new attorneys ahead of his impeachment trial. So that was what the talk shows focused on in their opening monologues. Jimmy Fallon.
Trump was furious. Not that they quit, that he couldn't fire them on Twitter. If Trump and his lawyers disagreed on strategy, apparently Trump got upset when they wanted to have one.
Seth Meyers speculating Trump might be represented by a public defender. James Corden.
Trump suddenly found himself without any legal representation, which is still a huge improvement over being represented by Rudy Giuliani. But don't worry, Trump quickly managed to add 2 new lawyers to represent him at the trial. We take this show at 3 p.m. There's a good chance by the time you're watching this, they've already quit.
I'm Jeff Verhoeven.
Elon Musk takes a break from Twitter. Business in 60 seconds.
680 News Time 7:26.
Your employment rights with Lior Samfiru from employmentlawyer.ca.
COVID-19 has forced drastic employment changes on many Canadians in the form of layoffs, pay cuts, reduction in hours, demotions, and work relocation. What most employees don't realize is that your employer does not have a right to make significant changes to terms of employment without your consent. You don't have to accept these changes. Your employer is essentially terminating you, and you are owed full severance pay. I can help you get the severance package you are legally owed. My team has helped tens of thousands of employees get the compensation they deserve when changes are made to their job. Before you accept any changes, contact me and discover why my employment law firm is the most positively reviewed firm in Canada.
Contact employment lawyer Lior Samfiru today. Get the advice you need and the compensation you deserve. Visit employmentlawyer.ca. That's employmentlawyer.ca.
Now the business report with Mike Apple. What's going on, Mike?
Well, it starts with shares of GameStop, because these have certainly been the talk of Wall and Bay Streets here just over the past week, and after a big spike late last week, and the shares have tumbled both yesterday and so far this morning. I've got GameStop indicated below $150 to start the session this morning, dropping by about 25% so far. At its peak, it was $483. Elon Musk has been a vocal proponent of all of these Reddit rallies on his Twitter accounts. He's also been propping up Bitcoin to some extent recently and talking about all of his space exploration. All of a sudden last night, Musk said on Twitter that he's taking a break from Twitter. Not giving any details why or for how long, but nevertheless, that could certainly be a question for Twitter and some of the numbers that the company brings in on a daily basis from that social media platform. We'll see how long that break from Twitter actually lasts for Mr. Musk. We have the price for oil this morning trading at a one-year high. Some bullish commentary coming out of Saudi Arabia a day after OPEC put a 1 million barrel per day production rollback into effect, sending oil up $1.31 at 54.86. Dow futures up 2.35. The silver rally has cooled off. It was up yesterday on major inflows into ETFs. This morning, back down 6%. Gold is down $16 at 18.47. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
You understand your business better than anyone. And no matter what challenges and opportunities you face, you always find a way to keep moving forward. The BDC understands your reality. As the bank for Canadian entrepreneurs, we provide the financing and advisory services you need to plan your path to the future. We're here for what's ahead, so you never have to look back. BDC, financing, advising, smart.
Streams of Truth, brought to you by Sportsnet Now.
Do you feel trapped with unreliable illegal sports streams? Stuck in the glitchy, pixelated wasteland of pirated sports? Well, the freedom that you deserve is now with Sportsnet Now. All you need is an internet connection, and you too can stream the game wherever your imagination takes you.
Sportsnet Now, starting at $9.99. Visit smnow.ca for details.
Minus 8 degrees, partly cloudy in downtown Toronto. 60 East time, 7:30.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
It's Tuesday, February 2nd. Good morning. I'm Catherine Jeté.
I'm Paul Cook. Here's what's making news right now.
Imagine COVID vaccines made in Canada. It could soon be a reality. We're expecting to hear from the Prime Minister today, as a new poll finds most blame the feds for the vaccine shortfall.
Toronto City Council decides today whether to extend pandemic bylaws set to expire, including mandating mask use. The medical officer of health wants the bylaws in effect at least until early June.
Some health experts feel to contain COVID, we need to cut back on what's considered essential. A Toronto Star analysis finds 65% of workers in the GTA are deemed essential.
It is Groundhog Day, and so far, one weather prognosticating rodent is calling for an early spring, another 6 more weeks of winter. Wyerton Willie to be the tiebreaker.
Get ready for an opening day of April 1st in Major League Baseball. The players officially rejecting a proposal from the owners to push the season back and play fewer games. Sports at 45.
Despite for stock futures, Dow futures up 225. Silver slumps. GameStop melts down. Business at 56.
60 East time, 7:31.
Time for 680 News. Traffic and weather together on the lines for IA Private Wealth. Up we go to Chopper 680. Here's Jordan Curtis.
Southbound on the Don Valley Parkway approaching Baby Bloor. We still have the left lane blocked up with a stalled vehicle, but the crash approaching Baby Bloor has been cleared away, so it's still jammed up approaching Lawrence down towards Baby making galore. On the northbound side, northbound 404 approaching Finch, flying over this right now. Right lane and ramp lane blocked off with the crash. It's GM from Shepherd. From the 680 traffic center, here's Kyle Hawking.
Plus, some good news on the eastbound Gardner. Problems at the Humber Bridge have cleared. A delay from Parklawn to the Humber Bridge, and then all that traffic's going to hit an issue that's still there. Approaching Jameson, left lane blocked with a collision. Police on scene. It's getting heavier from Parkside to approaching Jameson. Westbound 401 approaching Salem. Collision on the right shoulder. Delays from about the 412 to Salem. IA Private Wealth is Canada's choice for professional trusted advice that's uniquely tailored for every stage of your financial journey. Visit iaprivatewealth.ca. Next report at 7:41, and with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
It's another cold morning for us. Increasing cloud today. Right now, dress for a wind chill, -14 to -18. It's -9 degrees, mostly cloudy now at Pearson, -7, partly cloudy downtown Toronto at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high, -2.
680 News Time, 7:32.
It is the most sought after product in the world. And at the moment, we have woefully little of it in this country, the COVID-19 vaccine. And according to a new poll, most of us in this province blame Ottawa.
In perhaps a case of better late than never, Prime Minister Trudeau set to make an announcement today about production of a shot to call our own. Our Jamie Pulver joins us live with the latest. Jamie.
Yeah, Paul, a made-in-Canada solution instead of being at the mercy of foreign governments who could, without notice, stop vaccine exports until their own people are vaccinated. That's been a concern with the European Union, where the majority of the Canadian supply is coming from. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke about Canadian vaccine production when announcing deals with Novavax and Johnson & Johnson back in August.
We're investing over $126 million to expand the biomanufacturing facility right here at the National Research Council, Royal Mount.
Now, that facility in Montreal is expected to be ready to go by this summer. Today, Trudeau expected to announce a deal is in the works to lure leading vaccine manufacturers to start production here. This, as a new campaign research poll, finds that more than half of those in Ontario blame the feds for the vaccine shortfall. The good news is that new shipments from Pfizer and Moderna are on the way to Canada this week, but only about a fifth of the Pfizer doses are expected. Moderna short by about 50,000 doses. That means that ramping up things here will help us rather than, again, relying on those foreign governments. Reporting live, Jamie Pulver, 680 News.
680 News Time, 7:34. Happening now, it's Groundhog Day, and the famous furry forecasters are making their predictions as to whether we can expect a long winter or an early spring. 680's Laura Carney joins us live, watching the annual tradition unfold virtually this year. Laura and Catherine have the predictions coming in. The first up this morning was Shubenacadie Sam in Nova Scotia.
I don't see shadows usually. No shadow. I believe that means an early spring sale, but nothing good snow.
So yes, and good news for those of us already sick of what's been a pretty mild winter. Shubenacadie Sam predicting an early spring in Gobbler's Knob, where they are celebrating the 135th annual prognostication. Punxsutawney Phil making his prediction just moments ago.
When I turn to see, there's a perfect shadow cast of me. 6 more weeks of winter there will be.
Now, of course, there's no crowd there to give the boos, so we will just give them here virtually. Boo to that. So it looks like it'll be up to Wyerton Willie, the albino groundhog, to play tiebreaker. His prediction set to come in at 8:07. This is the 65th time that Willie will be making his prediction, and of course, it will be held virtually again. That coming in at 8:07. Reporting live, Laura Carney, 680 News.
680 News Time, 7:35. City Council meets today for the first time this year, and the pandemic will be front and center. Our Kevin Meisner joins us live from City Hall this morning, where local politicians will be discussing extending COVID-19 bylaws. Kevin.
Yeah, Paul, Toronto's pandemic bylaws enforcing the use of masks and mandating physical distancing are set to expire tomorrow. Medical Officer of Health Dr. Eileen Davila is calling on Council to extend those bylaws at least until the June 8th meeting of Council. Davila says that this is especially important with new variants of the virus being identified.
We know what works. But clearly what it tells us is that if we're dealing with a variant that is more transmissible, we need to be that much more vigilant.
Councillors will also be discussing the new season of the KPT program, which would see sidewalk patios opening as early as April 15th and curbside patios starting on May the 8th. The now paused demolition of the Dominion Foundry buildings also to be debated during this council meeting, along with a strategy to enforce the use of masks in condo and apartment buildings. At Toronto City Hall, Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News Time 7:37. With the new COVID-19 variants in play, some health experts argue the current lockdown may not be enough. They point to essential workers as being one of the main contributors to the spread and question what is deemed essential work. 680's Carl Hansky joins us live from a meat processing plant in the city's northwest, where there are cases of one of the new variants. Carl.
Catherine, despite stay-at-home measures, a data analysis by the Toronto Star finds 65% of workers in the GTA are considered essential when working outside of home. Most of them in factories or production plants, like this meat processing plant on Signet Drive here in North York, where 78 workers have tested positive for COVID-19, including 2 with the more infectious UK variant. Workers say the issue at places like this is that employees work very close together. So if one gets sick, many will.
And I see them at break time too. You're, a few people in their cars smoking and stuff like that. So
they're sharing cars together, car rides.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main problems too for everybody out there.
Workplace spread is considered a major driver of infection numbers. Some health experts feel to contain COVID, we need to cut back on what's considered essential. Reporting live in North York, Carl Hansky, 680
News Time 7:38. Canadian financial regulators are looking into the Reddit rally. The securities oversight body's looking for abusive trading or market manipulation, but experts say that could be very tough to prove. Our Mike Epple reports from the 680 Business Center.
With Reddit and other social media sites spurring on a mania for GameStop and other companies, experts say it depends on whether those rallies were coordinated and harmful or simply cases of contagious excitement. The debate is being played out on the chat boards as well, with some users on Reddit's Bay Street Bets saying they'll support companies like BlackBerry and make it climb. Others are worried about when it was time to sell. Analysts say a typical retail investor on a chat board following opinions of others is likely not offside. Nevertheless, the Canadian Securities Administrators and the Investment Industry Regulatory Organization on Monday said they were looking into all of this. Some of the questions being raised are whether the advice given on these boards needs to come from a licensed broker. Proponents of the activity say more regulation would deter more everyday market participation. In the Business Center, I'm Mike Epple.
This is 680 News. Organizers for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics say it's no longer if, but how the games will take place despite COVID concerns. Our Simon Bennett has more.
Tokyo 2020 boss Yoshiro Mori says the games are still happening. However, the coronavirus evolves. Expect another announcement tomorrow, namely the measures that will be in place during the games to prevent global spread. CNN's Blake Essig says athletes can expect restrictions.
They're going to be allowed at the Athletes Village, transported to and from their venue for training and competition, but that's it.
They also will have to leave the Athletes Village within 2 days of their event ending and will be tested on site regularly. The reaffirmation from Mori coming as Japan prepares to extend their state of emergency for a number of areas, including Tokyo, which accounted for about a third of the 1,700 plus new cases announced yesterday nationwide. But for now, the opening ceremonies are still a go for July 23rd. I'm Simon Bennett.
680 News Time 7:40.
Can you feel it? It's different than before. We are stronger, not because one of us is all of us, because all of us is one of us. This is our team, the Canadian team, the human team. We all live here, so buy the toque, buy the mask, and change a life. Rise up and join the fight against homelessness. Show your support at raisingtheroof.org, because this is our house, and we're raising the roof.
Still to come on 680 News, a crash on the northbound 404 approaching Finch, blocking 2 right lanes. Will have traffic and weather together.
This is 680 News.
Your roof's from a leak. Water came through, shorted out the furnace, the radiator too.
When you need money fast, Prudent Financial has been your best bank alternative since 1984.
If you need money in a hurry, PrudentFinancial.net. Get money quick, just one click. PrudentFinancial.net.
If you own your car or your home, get a loan to borrow up to $75,000 in less than an hour. Self-employed, no proof of income, no problem.
PrudentFinancial.net.
Virtuo by Nespresso.
Redefining coffee. Savor a new morning ritual. Innovative technology means preparing your perfect cup of coffee has never been so simple. Allowing you to start your day in the most exceptional way. Virtual morning coffee redefined. Nespresso, what else?
680 News Time, 7:41.
Time for 680 News traffic and weather together on the ones. For Pizza up in Chopper 680, here's Jordan Kerr.
On northbound 404 approaching Finch, we have the right lane and ramp lane just before the start of the ramp, blocked off all because of a collision and investigation. A lot of emergency crews on scene. It's jammed from north of Shepherd. On the southbound 404 DVP, we have ongoing issues approaching Bayview Bloor. The left lane blocked off with a stalled vehicle. It's jammed from York Mills down towards Bayview Bloor now. The other crash that was in the area has been cleared away, but we still have this issue, so getting into the right lanes, it's very slow going. If you're looking at alternates, southbound Don Mills, decent for most of it all the way down. Southbound Bayview, heavy approaching Eglinton going through that single lane construction, but after that is moving well onto the extension. From the 680 traffic center, here's Kyle Hawking.
Well, we still have a problem on the eastbound Gardner, just one though. Approaching Jameson, left lane is blocked with a collision. Heavy from the Humber Bridge to approaching Jameson. That's our only problem left. We've had a bunch of them. On the westbound 401, approaching Salem, we also had collision clear here, so it is still slow approaching Broad Street to approaching Salem, starting to improve a little bit, and we have reports of a collision on Kennedy south of the 401. Expect lane restrictions. It is Groundhog Day. Today only get 50% off regular priced pizzas at Pizza. Use the code 50OFF online and on the Pizza app. Next report at 7:51, and with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
And it's a rather cold Groundhog Day. Wind chill right now, -14 to -18 with that gusty north wind. But milder air is on the way tomorrow through to Friday morning. Guaranteed high today, -2. We'll have sunshine to start, then increasing cloud. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine enough to +1, but it likely won't feel like that. We've got a gusty northwest wind tomorrow. If you're out of the wind, though, not too bad. Right now, it's mostly cloudy, -9 degrees up here, so -7 at 680 News. Partly cloudy, the guaranteed high, -2.
680 News Time, 7:43.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to Mike Epple at the 680 Business Center. How's it looking now, Mike?
It's still pretty good, Paul. We've got earnings in this morning from some heavyweights, including UPS, which had a record-breaking earnings performance spurred on by e-commerce. ExxonMobil, one of the world's largest energy companies, is reporting its first full-year loss in at least 40 years because of all the volatility that we saw last year in the energy trade and billions of dollars in write-downs on its asset valuations. Now, the price for oil this morning is at a one-year high. It's up $1.28, 2.33% to the upside at $54.83. Gold is down $18 at $18.45. The dollar up a quarter cent, 78.04. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Epple.
We're all rethinking risk these days. Your investments should be no exception. A financial advisor can help you build a resilient portfolio. Learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
Still to come on 680 News.
A global pandemic isn't going to stop the Raptors from making kids smile going virtual for this year's visit to sick kids.
This is 680 News.
Many people suffer from anxiety and depression. They feel an immense sense of despair. I'm Nainish Kotak, and at Kotak Law, we help clients who've been denied long-term disability. Often, insurance companies deny disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We fight for your right to receive the compensation you deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. Visit KotakLaw.com today.
Your long-term disability through Kotak Law.
Scott McGilvery here. I've done hundreds of home renovations over the years, and I'm particularly careful about what I put under the floors. On my projects, I use DMX One Step 2.0. This easy-to-install underlayment has an air gap design that allows moisture to evaporate, and it doesn't require wood subfloors, which can be a food source for mold growth. DMX One Step can be used under most vinyl or laminate floors, so whatever you choose, you know your investment will be protected. DMX One Step 2.0. No mold, no cold. Find it at the Home Depot.
Toronto's news now. This is 680 News.
Some morning sun, then cloudy and windy with the 680 News guaranteed high of -2, wind chill -9. Good morning. I'm Catherine Jeté.
I'm Paul Cook. Here are the top stories this Tuesday morning.
The Prime Minister expected to make an announcement today on a plan to produce COVID-19 vaccines in this country instead of relying completely on foreign production.
Toronto's COVID-19 bylaws are set to expire tomorrow, but an extension is up for discussion today at City Hall. The city's top doctor wants the rules on physical distancing and masking extended until at least June.
It's Groundhog Day again. Those eager for an early spring, keeping a close eye on furry forecasters, including Nova Scotia's Shubenacadie Sam calling for an early spring, and Pennsylvania's Punxsutawney Phil, who says 6 more weeks of winter.
For these and other stories, go to 680news.com.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590, the Fan, Simon Bennett.
Well, no real surprise here, but the baseball season will start on time. Any doubt on that was erased when the Players Association officially rejected a proposal to push opening day back to April 28th with slightly fewer games. MLB then instructing teams to go with the existing schedule. So pitchers and catchers report to spring training in just over 2 weeks. Opening day, April the 1st. NHL, another win for the Canadians. 6 wins in their opening 9 games. Last night, 6-2 over the Canucks. Calgary beat the Jets 4-3 in the shootout. After a frantic start, it's a few days of practice for the Maple Leafs to host the Canucks on Thursday. The Raptors looking to sweep the home and home with the Magic tonight. Game time from Orlando, 7 o'clock on Sportsnet 590. The Fan, Sportsnet Ontario on Sportsnet 1. The Bianca Andreescu's hiatus will go another few days at least, pulling out of the Grampians Trophy. She was to be the top seed in this tournament, planned specifically for players who weren't able to leave quarantine to practice in Australia. The Aussie Open starts next week. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News time 7:48.
RRSP season is here. Consider Israel Bonds for your RRSP and tax-free savings account. Israel Bonds are now paying up to 3.10% in Canadian dollars, subject to conditions. Israel Bonds are sold in Canada by Canada Israel Securities Limited. Diversify your RRSP and TFSA with Israel Bonds. Rates up to 3.10% are available until February 14th. Call Israel Bonds today at 416-789-3351 or visit israelbonds.ca.
Today on Hey Culligan, better water, better food. Here's Barry in Bob Cajun.
Hey Culligan, my water smells like a swimming pool and my pierogi tastes like one too.
Sounds like your water comes with a little chlorine.
Chlorine?
Yeah, but you could get a great for cooking water, delicious for drinking water, Culligan reverse osmosis system.
Yeah, I'll take one of those and 2 or 3 more pierogies, please.
No can do on the pierogies, but one Culligan reverse osmosis system already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.ca.
680 News time 7:49. A new poll suggests most Canadians support tighter restrictions on international travel imposed by the federal government.
An online survey by Leger and the Association for Canadian Studies says 86% of respondents agree with stricter new measures that suspend flights to most sun destinations and require passengers to quarantine at a hotel at their own expense upon arrival back in Canada. The poll also found 87% of respondents think the government should go further by banning international travel until there are several consecutive days of reduced COVID-19 numbers. Leger Executive Vice President Christian Bork says the wariness of foreign trips stems in part from variants of the virus emerging abroad, as well as homegrown politicians jetting off to far-flung beaches during the holidays. Terry Pedro, the Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Prime Minister Trudeau has spoken with U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, discussing several topics, including fighting the pandemic. Trudeau's office released a statement about the call, saying Trudeau looked forward to working with the U.S. administration to combat COVID-19 through close collaboration on borders and access to vaccines, as well as building back together. 680 News time, 7:50.
Are you looking for a trusted and experienced online high school where you can earn credits or upgrade your marks? Learn at home with Ontario Virtual School, Ontario's leading online learning provider. With over 10 years of experience, OVS has over 120 interactive and engaging courses to choose from, including STEM, French immersion, and more. Sign up today, set your own schedule, and get 24-hour access to their certified teachers. To learn more and see why over 20,000 students have chosen to learn with OVS, visit OntarioVirtualSchool.ca.
If your head wants to plan for retirement,
but your heart wants to enjoy life now, the Scotia Aria Retirement Program can help. No matter where you're starting from, we can create a unique path to help reach your vision of retirement. And as you grow, this flexible plan can grow with you, so you can enjoy what's important to you today as you get closer to your retirement goals tomorrow. Get started at scotiabank.com/aria and learn more about the Scotia Aria Retirement Program.
680 News time, 7:51. Time for 680 News traffic and weather together on the ones. For Pizza, up in Chopper 680, here's Jordan Kerr.
I'm flying around this ongoing issue southbound on the Don Valley Parkway. Approaching Baby Bloor, the left lane is blocked off with a stalled vehicle. It is now the back of a tow, though, so it should be gone soon. The southbound DVP is really heavy from York Mills down to approaching Baby Bloor. Best option right now, if you're on the southbound DVP, is to jump off at York Mills. So if you're coming with the 404, that's an option. And take southbound Don Mills down to the Don Valley Parkway and just rejoin the DVP at Don Mills and tough it out for the last little bit. Again, this should be gone soon, and it's going to be a bit better than taking the alternates through this area. On the northbound side, the DVP is moving well. The northbound 404 approaching Finch. Ramp lane is blocked up for crash cleanup. It's backed up from north of Shepherd. From the 680 traffic center, here's Kyle Hawking.
Still problems on the eastbound Gardner approaching Jameson. Left lane blocked with this collision. In fact, police right now holding all lanes just where they move around some cars. So it is heavy from approaching the upper bridge to approaching Jameson because of this. Lakeshore's moving much better. Couple of delays on the eastbound 401. First is short stretch east of Dixie in the collectors. Busy again, Kipling to the 400, mainly in the express. Does still look slow on the west 401, 412 to Salem because of earlier problems. Your entire world is online, so why aren't your RRSPs and TFSAs? It's time to switch to Questrade. Retire wealthier with a Quest Wealth Portfolio's RRSP at questrade.com. Next report at 8:01, and with the extended forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Cold temperatures and cold wind chills for us this morning, but milder temperatures on the way Wednesday through to Friday. For today, some sunshine to start, an increasing cloud, the guaranteed high -2, that is the average high. -6 for the low, and that's actually a little bit above average. The average low about -9. But with that wind, we've got a very brisk wind, strong out of the north today. It'll feel more like -14 early tomorrow. Lots of sunshine tomorrow and up to +1. A northwest wind, make it feel a bit chilly. If you're out of the wind, though, pretty nice day with all that sunshine tomorrow. And then snow moves in late Thursday night into Friday. Right now, -9 degrees, mostly cloudy at Pearson. Feels like -18. Partly cloudy, -7 at 680 News. Our guaranteed high, -2.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Bellier Brothers. Bellier Brothers, experts in heating, cooling, and electrical for older Toronto homes. There's a red Bellier truck in your area ready to serve you. Visit BellierBrothers.com.
Coming up at 8 o'clock, the Prime Minister is expected to announce a plan to produce COVID-19 shots in this country, and we're waiting for Wyerton Willie to break the furry forecast tie on this Groundhog Day.
680 News time, 7:54.
Here's a funny thing.
Wednesday's best dramas
Has a tendency to bring out the very best.
on City TV.
People who stand steady. I'm not abandoning them.
Chicago Med.
Who hold on to each other.
Fire. This community calls, we respond.
And run into the fear.
PD. There's a lot of guts. And unfortunately, Chicago Med, Fire, and PD. All new episodes Wednesdays on City TV. Or stream live and free at citytv.com.
During extreme weather season, count on our weather experts and the 680 News Extreme Weather Center for all the latest on the storm.
And how to keep you and your family safe.
Road conditions, school cancellations, and the latest storm updates.
The 680 News Extreme Weather Center has you covered.
Brought to you by Subaru. Confidence in motion.
On your radio, online, and on your smart speaker.
This is 680 News.
Even a pandemic didn't stop the Raptors from visiting with kids at Sick Children's Hospital virtually. Our Jeff Rehoman has more.
Yeah, for the last 25 years, the Raptors have gone to sick kids to cheer up the patients there. This year, for obvious reasons, they couldn't go in person, so instead, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, and the Raptor video called the kids and answered their questions.
Hi, my name is Rebecca. My question is, I noticed you wear a lot of different jerseys, so which one's your favorite?
I think for me, my favorite jersey so far probably is black jersey, black and red.
Also asking Fred what he would be if he wasn't a basketball player.
I'll be a singer.
Oh, okay. You care to demonstrate?
Watch the highlights from the visit on the Raptors Twitter. I'm Jeff Verhoeven.
Coming up in 60 seconds, it used to be that ExxonMobil was the worst, or the world's biggest money maker, rather, but today not so much. We'll have the business report.
680 News Time, 7:56.
Prioritizing your family's health is important, and getting an annual eye exam is an essential part of it. So visit your neighborhood Pearl Vision. They put safety first, and right now they're also offering 40% off lenses for adults and free lenses for kids with frame purchase. They direct bill most insurance plans too, making the process easy. Why wait any longer? Arrange your family's eye exams at pearlvision.ca today. Valid prescription required. Valid at participating locations. Restrictions apply. Taxes extra. See store for details. Ends March 31st, 2021. Exams available at the independent doctors of optometry at or next to Pearl Vision.
We're told to save for a rainy day, but why not save for a rainy decade? You worked hard for that money, and you're about to put it in there? At Tangerine, you can make that money make money with investments that tend to themselves. Our new mutual funds are called Global ETF Portfolios. And for as little as $25, you'll be investing before you can say, what, the ETF? So start making moves with your money, because investing is in. Visit tangerine.ca and get started today.
Now the 680 News Business Report. Here is Mike Apple.
ExxonMobil, Catherine, coming off its first full-year loss in at least 40 years. The company had a breakdown on its assets of $19 billion. But with the volatility that the energy sector saw last year, with some days the price for oil trading below $0 per barrel, now it has recuperated on a price point most recently. In fact, this morning, oil is at a one-year high north of $54 per barrel, and a little bit more optimistic forecast. But nevertheless, Exxon seeing a multi-billion-dollar loss in its latest quarter and full year. Other than that, the earnings that are in this morning are pretty good. From the likes of UPS, the parcel delivery company, seeing a 28% spike in its profits, spurred on by e-commerce sales. And Pfizer says that its vaccine programs will bring in $15 billion in revenue in its yearly update. Those stocks trending higher, and the Dow futures up by 225 points. We're seeing volatility in the silver trade a day after silver spiked 13%. There are more margin requirements in some of the silver ETFs being put into place, and that's cooling things off a little bit, with the precious metal down by 6% in pre-market action. Then we've got GameStop. It's down this morning by as much as 25% after a 30% slide in Monday's trade. Price for gold right now down $17 at $18.46. The Canadian dollar is up by a quarter cent at 78.03. The exchange at $1.28. The Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
Tonight on CBC.
Ooh, something special?
The moment you've been waiting for.
Welcome back to Kims and Radio. TJ Upper Kims.
The Kims are back.
And we got front row seats.
For real?
Yes, very good.
Perfect. And there's lots in store.
I don't want to talk about it, but it's only good to talk about.
Kim's Convenience. New episode. Tonight at 8 on CBC and CBC Gem.
What happens when you sleep well, you train well, you focus well, you eat well, you play well? Whatever your New Year's resolution, it all starts with better sleep, and that begins at Sleep Country. The New Year, New You event is on now. Get great deals on all your sleep essentials, like mattresses, bedding, and pillows. Our sleep experts are online at sleepcountry.ca to help you wake up to better sleep. Sleep well, stay well. Sleep Country.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for IA Private Wealth. Canada's choice for professional, trusted advice that's uniquely tailored for every stage of your journey. Visit iaprivatewealth.ca.
In downtown Toronto, a blue sky -7, wind chill -14. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 8 o'clock.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
It's Tuesday, February 2nd. Good morning. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jete. Here's what's making news right now.
Canada taking COVID vaccine production into its own hands. We're expecting to hear from Prime Minister Trudeau today, as a new poll finds most blame Ottawa for the vaccine rollout letdown.
The Toronto bylaws covering physical distancing and masks are set to expire tomorrow. Council meets today and will likely extend those bylaws right into June.
A data analysis by the Toronto Star finds 65% of workers in the GTA are deemed essential, yet workplace contact is considered a major source of COVID-19 spread.
Flyers and Willie to play tiebreaker on this Groundhog Day. Shubenacadie Sam predicting an early spring, while Punxsutawney Phil says 6 more weeks of winter.
Major League Baseball instructing their teams to start on time after the players rejected a proposal to push the beginning of the season back to late April. Sports at 15. Strong quarterly earnings lifting morning markets. Dow futures up 230, helped out by UPS. And Brookfield sells Enwave for $4 billion. Business at 26.
6 City News time 8:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by On Honda Dealers, Airborne Chopper 680 Jordan Carter.
Well, issues on the southbound DVP by Baby Blur have all cleared away now, but it's really heavy from south of the 401 to south of Don Mills, and northbound on the 404 approaching Finch. We still have the ramp lane blocked for crash cleanup. There's a minor delay in the area. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
Only the new problem on the eastbound 401. It's east of Dixie. The transfer right at the start of the transfer into the Express. So this crash in the Collectors. We have the left lane blocked with a collision. Delays from Dixie in the Collectors to south of Pearson, where the problem is in the left lane. And then we have a northbound 410 issue on the ramp to Courtney Park. Looks like a lane blocked with a problem here, and it's slow from north of the 401 onto the Courtney Park ramp. At the Honda Dream Garage event, get a $1,250 Honda bonus on 2020 Civic sedan models. Excludes SI. Shop online at HondaOntario.com. Next report at 8:11, and with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Some sunshine for us this morning, and then the clouds increase. Right now, if you have to head out, dress for a wind chill -14 to -18 with that strong gusty north wind. -9 degrees, some clouds appear, some sunshine -7 at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high -2.
680 News time 8:02.
Canada could soon be relying less on other countries to produce and ship COVID-19 vaccines. The Prime Minister is expected to announce today his government has a plan to make shots in this country.
Ottawa not getting a pass from voters in this province when it comes to the stalled vaccination efforts. 680's Jamie Pulford joins us live with the latest. Jamie.
Yeah, Catherine, Canada is taking COVID vaccine production into its own hands instead of totally relying on foreign governments for one of the most valuable commodities in the world. Now, right now, most of the supply is coming from the European Union, and there's been some tension there. We're expecting to hear from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau today about making vaccines here. He spoke about it back in August, $126 million to expand the biomanufacturing facility at the National Research Council in Montreal.
This funding will increase this facility's ability to manufacture vaccines and will strengthen the NRC's partnerships with vaccine developers. We expect the facility to be up and running by mid-2021.
Now, the latest is that it should be ready by the summer. Trudeau speaking about that while also announcing deals with Novavax and Johnson & Johnson, still yet to be approved by Health Canada. This, as a new campaign research poll finds more than half of people in Ontario blame Ottawa for the current vaccine shortage. Canada is expecting new shipments from both Pfizer and Moderna this week, but only a fraction of the doses expected. Reporting live, Jamie Pulford, 680 News.
680 News time 8:04. If Toronto's top doctor has her way, physical distancing and mask wearing in public will stay mandatory well into the spring. Our Kevin Meisner's at City Hall, where an extension of COVID-19 bylaws is up for discussion, and he joins us live. Kevin.
Yeah, Paul, Toronto City Council is expected to approve the Medical Officer of Health's request to keep pandemic bylaws mandating masks and physical distancing in place at least until the June meeting of Council. Dr. Eileen Davila says keeping those protections in place is even more important with variants of the virus circulating.
These variants of concern are associated with increased transmissibility. And if we want to control the spread of the virus in our city and throughout the province, then we need to be extremely vigilant around the measures that we know work.
Also on the agenda for Toronto City Council, asking for a report on expanding the city's cycling network for another season of active TO. As well, the now paused demolition of the Dominion Foundry buildings will be discussed, along with the new season of the KPT program, which could see sidewalk patios popping up as early as April 15th. At City Hall, Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News Time 8:05. Well, the advice to stay home amid the pandemic is all well and good for those of us with office jobs, but with so many in the GTA considered essential workers, workplace spread continues to contribute to the second wave of COVID-19 infections, and it's prompting concerns current lockdown measures might not be enough. 680's Carl Hansky is outside a meatpacking plant in the city's northwest where dozens of workers have fallen ill. He joins us live. Carl.
Despite stay-at-home measures, a data analysis by the Toronto Star finds 65% of workers in the GTA are considered essential when working outside of home. Most of them in factories or production plants like this meat processing plant on Signet Drive here in North York, where 78 workers have tested positive for COVID-19, including 2 with the more infectious UK variant. Workers say the issue at places like this is that employees work very close together. So if one gets sick, many will.
And I see them at break time too here. You know, a few people in their cars smoking and stuff like that. So
they're sharing cars together, car rides.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main problems too for everybody out there.
Workplace spread is considered a major driver of infection numbers. Some health experts feel to contain COVID, we need to cut back on what's considered essential. Reporting live in North York, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News Time 8:07. The federal government extending some financial support to one of the country's airlines. Our Mike Apple reports from the 680 Business Center.
Sunwing is tapping into a $375 million credit line days after agreeing to suspend flights to Mexico and the Caribbean, along with all the other major Canadian carriers. The loan is being granted through the federal government's large employer emergency financing facility, which was put together last May to help big companies weather the pandemic. The program, though, has not seen as much activity as expected due to the terms of conditions and higher borrowing costs, with less than 20 companies using the credit facility so far. Sunwing, though, flies mainly to the Caribbean and Mexico and has been forced to shut down much of its operations, employing 3,000 staff. The cash, though, still does not answer questions for passengers holding tickets to canceled flights, as negotiations on that continue with Ottawa. For the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
680 News Time 8:08. The top executive in charge of the Tokyo Olympics insists the games will take place this summer. Our Simon Bennett has more.
Despite recent reports that officials privately fear the games will be canceled, Tokyo 2020 boss Yoshiro Mori stated quite the opposite, saying the games will go on, however the coronavirus evolves, with a focus on holding them safely. CNN's Blake Essig.
Olympic officials have said that vaccines will not be a prerequisite for athletes to compete in these Summer Olympic Games, but there will be rules in place.
Those rules expected to be announced tomorrow. IOC Vice President John Coates telling Sky News that includes testing within 72 hours of going to Tokyo, again on arrival, and then every 4 days. This comes as COVID numbers remain high in many areas of the world, including Japan. The opening ceremonies are scheduled for July 23rd, and the IOC has recently said there is no plan B. I'm Simon Bennett.
680 News Time 8:08. Happening now, it's Groundhog Day, virtual edition due to the pandemic, and we've already heard from the furry forecasters in Nova Scotia and Pennsylvania. Now the focus shifts to Wyerton, where it's Willie's turn. Laura Carney's here live with his prediction, like brand new, like just happened, Laura.
Like just happened, yeah. So Wyerton Willie being called upon to be the tiebreaker. We know earlier today, Shubenacadie Sam said that it would be an early spring. Then the prognosticators, Punxsutawney Phil, making his prediction, saying that we were in for 6 more weeks of winter. So now, of course, not as big as it normally is, but here is the prediction from Wyerton Willie coming in just moments ago.
It's an early spring. There you have it, folks, from beautiful Wyerton, Ontario. The official prediction. Willie predicts an early spring.
Well, it's as simple as that, an early spring. So I guess 2 out of 3, we say it will be an early spring. Reporting live, Laura Carney, 680 News.
We'll take it. 680 News Time 8:09.
Coronavirus updates and breaking news.
All on the Be the First to Know newsletter.
Sign up now at 680news.com/newsletters. Humans are the most advanced species on Earth. We've conquered fire, created powerful technologies, and yet we're still stuck paying for food delivery. Not anymore. With Good Food, you can get delicious ready-to-cook meals and grocery items like Good Food hummus, popcorn, and bacon delivered free right to your home. Good Food, eating evolved. Visit makegoodfood.ca with minimum purchase. Details on makegoodfood.ca.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones, including an update on a collision on the eastbound 401 east of Dixie Collectors.
6 City News Time 8:10.
Out with the old and in with the new. It's something you hear a lot this time of year. Making space in your life is what a new year is for. Get a fresh start in your home and your life with Access Storage. With a safe place to store the belongings you love but don't have space for, Access Storage can be your resolution solution with flexible and affordable storage options and more than 100 convenient locations in Ontario. Get on with your new year. Access Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit accessstorage.ca.
Every day in Canada, 3,000 mortgages renew. Important announcement. If your mortgage renews in the next 90 days, contact butlermortgage.ca. 1.38% 5-year fixed rate at renewal. No gimmicks, no fees. It's the same mortgage as your bank. If you qualify, you save thousands. 1.38% 5-year fixed mortgage rate at butlermortgage.ca.
License number 12118, high ratio fixed rate APR of 1.39%.
6 City News Time 8:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by 407 ETR Airborne, Shopper 680 Jordan Kerr.
I was just flying over the 404 in Finch, northbound 404 approaching Finch. We still have the ramp lane blocked off for crash cleanup, but they're hooking up some of the vehicles now, which is good news, and there's no delay in the area anymore. On the southbound side, southbound DVP is heavy from south of the 401. Delays all the way down to the Baby Bloor ramp because of a series of issues we had. And once you're south of Eglinton, it starts to break up a bit, so it's not jammed the whole way, but still a very busy drive. For the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
The problem we had on the eastbound 401 east of Dixie and the Collectors is cleared just before the transfer of the Express. So it's still heavy from just east of the 410 Collectors to south of Pearson, but things are going to improve in the next short while. Volume then from Islington to the 400 Express. Westbound 401 looks good across the city. And still seeing a bit of a delay northbound 410 on the ramp to Courtney Park. We have 2 cameras in this area that are both blocked out from seeing what the problem was on the ramp. I'm going to say it doesn't look like there's an obstruction on the ramp anymore. It's moving a little better. Download the 407 ETR app today and get personalized updates on your regular routes, instant trip summaries, and more. Available on the App Store and Google Play. Next report at 8:21, and with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Well, glad to hear that Waterton really is on Team Spring, and we will get a brief mild spell on the way. Not today. It feels like minus 17 with that gusty north wind right now at Toronto Pearson. And some sunshine, though, so that's nice to see. But we will have increasing cloud. Clearing again tonight, minus 6 for the low. The guaranteed high is minus 2. And then tomorrow, mainly sunny, milder up to +1, but we do have a gusty northwest wind tomorrow. Right now, minus 9, mostly cloudy at Pearson, sunny, minus 6 at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high, minus 2.
6 City News Time 8:13.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to Mike Apple at the 6 City News Business Center. Mike.
Hey, Catherine, we're looking over a whole bunch of quarterly earnings this morning. One coming in from Imperial Oil. An energy heavyweight lost $1.5 billion in its latest quarter. It was much below estimates on its results. Its parent company, ExxonMobil, coming off its first annual loss in 40 years. Price for oil, though, this morning up $1.28, 54.82, and natural gas, after a near 10% rally Monday, adding another 4% so far this morning. The Dow futures up 240 points. The TSX coming off a strong start to the week, up 355 points. I'd see a pullback, though, for some of the mining companies. Gold is down $21 at $18.42. Silver down $1.70 or 5.8% at $27.71. Canadian dollar higher by 1/3 cent, 78.09 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
When it comes to investing, it's time to consider the alternatives. Dynamic Funds sees diversification differently. Ask a financial advisor how and learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
Still ahead on 680 News, latest morning headlines, and
you know it's a big deal when Patrick Stewart calls himself a superfan. Captain Picard geeks out over Schitt's Creek.
This is 680 News.
If there's one vehicle made for winter in Canada, it's a Subaru. Whether it's rain, sleet, or snow, symmetrical all-wheel drive works full-time to give you all the traction you need to be safe on the road. And if there's one dealership ready to help you through this winter, it's your local Subaru dealer. By ensuring all safety protocols are in place, we've made shopping for a Subaru as safe as driving one. Book your appointment and bring on winter safely at your nearest Subaru dealer.
Many people suffer from anxiety and depression. They feel an immense sense of despair.
I'm Danish Kotak, and at Kotak Law, we help clients who've been denied long-term disability. Often, insurance companies deny disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We fight for your right to receive the compensation you deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. Visit KotakLaw.com today.
Your long-term disability through Kotak Law.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
Morning sunshine with increasing cloud and a brisk wind from the north as we head to a 680 News guaranteed high of -2. Good morning. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jette. Here are the top stories right now.
Under fire for a shortage of COVID-19 vaccine, Prime Minister Trudeau expected to announce today the framework for an agreement to produce the shot within Canada.
The first City Council meeting of the year goes today. Toronto politicians will be asked to extend the COVID-19 bylaws set to expire tomorrow.
It's Groundhog Day again. The virtual edition this year due to the pandemic. Wyerton Willie did not see his shadow, so it'll apparently be an early spring.
For these and other stories, go to 680news.com.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Simon Bennett.
Well, it sounds like good news for Groundhog Day, but another sign that spring isn't as far away as it seems. Spring training is starting in just over 2 weeks because Major League Baseball has instructed teams to go with the existing schedule after the players rejected a proposal to push opening day back a few weeks with a slightly shorter calendar. So pitchers and catchers report in just over 2 weeks. Opening day remains April 1st. NHL to the win for the Canadians. 6 wins in their opening 9 games last night. 6-2 over the Canucks. Calgary beat the Jets 4-3 in a shootout. The Leafs off host Vancouver on Thursday. The Raptors looking to sweep the home with the Magic tonight. Game time from Orlando, 7 o'clock. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Sportsnet Ontario, and Sportsnet 1. Bianca Andreescu's hiatus will last another few days at least, pulling out of the Grampians Trophy. She was to be the top seed in this tournament, planned specifically for players who weren't able to leave quarantine to practice in Australia. Instead, she will focus on getting ready for the Australian Open, which starts next week. Sports 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 8:18.
439 Pizza Nova.
Ciao, I'm Dominic Pinucci, and I'm excited to tell you about our plant-based pepperoni from our friends at Field Roast. Crafted with quality, fresh whole food ingredients and Italian seasonings, our Planteroni delivers on taste. Make it all vegan with our dairy-free cheese and taste the plant-based difference.
439 Pizza Nova.
Start your weekdays with Morning Live on CHCH.
Good morning, I'm Annette Hall. Here's what we're working on.
Stream or tune in at 6 a.m. for updates on the latest from your region with weekly briefs from health professionals and local officials.
Our Meet the Mayor series continues.
Weather and traffic for those heading out the door.
Here's the radar we're looking at. Non-essential traffic, just stay home.
Plus, freshly squeezed fun to kickstart your day. Morning Live, waking you up with information and inspiration for 20 years. Weekdays at 6 a.m. on CHCH.
680 News Time, 8:19.
The expansion of asymptomatic COVID-19 testing in schools announced by the province still not enough for the president of the Elementary Teachers Federation. Shauna Hunt of City News is speaking with Sam Hammond, who says widespread testing should have been happening long ago, and how it will work remains unclear.
Where are the 625, 650 nurses that were hired into the system? Why can't they be administering these rapid tests in schools? When will they have access to that, and how are you going to implement it?
And Hammond says most of the safety measures talked about by the Minister of Education are nothing new. For example, many school boards across the province before the Christmas break already implemented the masking of children as young as in grade 1. And as for the possibility of March break being canceled so learning can continue, Hammond is hoping that the government will consider the burnout among teachers, students, and parents and decide that that break is desperately needed for everyone to recharge. Shauna Hunt, City News.
680 News Time, 8:20.
When 680 News listeners are on the road, they like to save time and stay safe. And that's why 407 ETR chooses 680 News to connect with drivers.
Hi, my name is Kevin Sack, and I'm the Vice President of Communications and Marketing at 407 ETR, the toll road that gets people where they need to be on time.
Why advertise on 680 News specifically?
The programming of the station that occurs every hour of the day is what drives people to listen to the station, and also hear a news about breaking traffic and weather, and we know that's an important place for drivers to go. We know that if we put our message there, it's going to be heard.
407 ATR has been on 680 News for many years. You obviously have a long-term marketing strategy.
And new drivers join the GTA every year. And as new audiences come on board, they're going to 680 News for their information, and we want to be a part of that. It often reminds me of the way the highway functions: fast, safe, and reliable.
Get 680 News working for you. Visit 680ads.com.
680 News time, 8:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by AGM Renovations. Up we go to Shopper 680. Where are you flying, Jordan?
I'm actually with the 401 right now, just to check out some issues in the area of the 401 and the 410, and everything here has been cleared away. On the eastbound 401, we still have delays from just east of the 410 to east of Dixie and the collectors, and the issue here is gone. And on the northbound 410, issues on the ramp to Corby Park are definitely gone. No delay left in the area. For the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
Well, just looking at volume breaking up on the southbound DVP, it's slow from about York Mills to south of Lawrence, another minor delay south of Eglinton to south of Don Mills, and then a little bit backed up on the ramp to Bayview Bloor. So it's much improved in just the last 10 minutes, but still some volume here. Eastbound Gardner's now moving well if you're heading into downtown via that route. How about the money you save staying at home? You spend on your home. Increase your living space. Finish your basement. Call AGM now and get $5,000 off your new basement. Visit AGMRenovations.com. Next report at 8:31, and with the extended forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Well, some sunshine on this cold Tuesday morning. Dress for a wind chill if you have to head out right now. -13 to -17. We've got a strong gusty north wind. The guaranteed high -2. Clouds will increase, but then we'll clear out again. The sunshine for us tomorrow. Climb to +1, but we will have a gusty northwest wind tomorrow. If you're out of the wind tomorrow and in the sunshine, be quite lovely. Thursday, snow moves in, but not until late Thursday night into Friday morning. Could see some accumulation, but it may also mix with rain, so watch that for the end of the week. Right now, mostly cloudy it appears, and some sunshine, -9 there. Sunny, -6 at 680 News. Our guaranteed high, -2.
And because Jill did not miss the weather guarantee yesterday, our jackpot climbs to $1,200. We're rebuilding a new jackpot after yesterday's giveaway of $26,000 to a lucky 680 News insider.
Coming up at 8:30, in a case of better late than never, Prime Minister Trudeau set to announce plans today to